available, as well as scheduling your appointment online. River Region residents have trusted Roto-Rooter for over half a century. You can too. Call today at 272-7130 or visit online at rotorooteralabama.com.
Call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And lethal troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth.
They used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
Joey Clark.
Unutterable are the things we fear, but soon our fears will be exceeded. Unutterable are the things we fear, but soon our fears will be exceeded. You know, folks, when a friend of mine texted me that someone just tried to take out Trump early Saturday evening, my immediate reaction was to fear the worst. That out of stormy political skies, a thunderbolt had finally struck, blackening any hopes of peace in a flash. America at that very moment seemed on the brink of unthinkable and unutterable things. My fear only grew as I immediately found the video clip circulating on X, the footage captured live only minutes before. The clip showed Donald Trump speaking at yet another packed-out rally, only to be interrupted by the sound of gunfire. I watched Trump twitch his head to his right side, grab his right ear, peer at his hand, and then fall to the ground as more gunshots popped off, competing with the rising screams from the crowd. That's where the video ended, so I watched it again and again for the next several minutes. My fear swelled. Violence sings its own song, and once its song begins, no one knows when it will end. I couldn't tell if Trump was fatally wounded. He seemed to have dropped of his own volition, but I couldn't see if he had been struck by a bullet. I began furiously refreshing my feed in desperate need to know what happened. Nothing new was coming up, just the same short video being shared over and over again in real time. I kept refreshing as my mind wandered to family members and their well-being. I especially thought of my brother and his wife and their brand new baby girl, wondering what the world had in store for them. Is this even real? I thought. Is this some kind of hoax or cheap trick in AI production? No, it felt all too real. More real than anything seen on the American political scene in a long time. This wasn't some hollow ritual, scripted speech, or paper-thin reenactment. This was as real as Caesar and Pompey, Antietam and Gettysburg, Lincoln, Kennedy, King, and Reagan. There's nothing more real than the fear of spilt blood amplifying into more blood and fear. When life becomes unmoored from reality, and reality is mistaken as the plaything of our deluded fancies and clever whims, the shadow of death has a way of reminding us what's real in spite of our desires. I kept checking my feed. Still nothing. Those few minutes felt like an eternity. The new footage finally appeared. The Secret Service agents surrounding Trump were beginning to stand up with the 45th president. I still couldn't tell what damage had been done. Neither could the crowd there assembled, as screams and shouts were followed by a drone of worried murmuring. The murmuring reached an electric hum as the mass of agents rose from the ground. That's when I heard that unmistakable voice, "Wait, wait, 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 wait," as Trump pushed his head up through his human shield. His face was covered in streaks of blood. Pumping his fist in the air 3 times, he shouted, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" With each thrust, as the crowd began to roar in recognition of what they were witnessing. Suddenly, the fear welling up within me began to transform into pride. A pride beyond politics or elections. Pride in seeing a man undaunted in the face of death itself. Seeing Trump's defiant fist in the air, I couldn't shake the thought that legends are born when they tap into something much greater and much more real than our worst fears and deepest doubts. More videos and photos began circulating on my feed, providing further detail of the scene. A bullet had clearly pierced the top of Trump's right ear. The unutterable and unthinkable had been avoided by less than an inch. One miraculous inch. Many have suggested divine providence at work. I have no better explanation, though perhaps fortune simply favors the bold. Indeed, Donald Trump's message to the nation after the attempt on his life could not have said it any better. It was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening. We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness. So much can happen in just a few hours, folks. Eddie Bader is here. How you doing, Eddie?
Doing good, Joe. How you doing, bud?
Good. You know, Eddie was the one who texted me that set off me looking. I know you texted Greg as well, and huge hat tip to Greg Budell, Jay Scott, Rich Thomas, them
Man,
hopping
that was
on
great.
air in those hours.
That was great. I know I tuned in, and I know I kept getting messages from people that were thankful that Blue Water has live radio, and they were able to tune in for
Yeah.
that. It's a great community.
Yeah, I was just at home with my grandfather. We were sitting down for dinner as this all was happening.
What's his thoughts on, I'm curious, someone of that generation?
We didn't even talk about it that deeply. He just
right?
sort of was taking it in and taking it in dispassionately.
Yeah.
Like, what are the facts? And, you know, that, as I just described here, my fear turned to pride. Does that mean we have nothing more to fear? That there aren't still political stormy skies? Oh, hell no.
No.
But the only way you keep fear from overtaking you is you find courage, or you look up to people that possess it more than you. You know, I began that'll be the piece that comes out at 1819 News tomorrow. And it begins with a quote from the Roman poet Lucan, and it's his whole poem's this epic thing on the civil war between Caesar and Pompey. And I didn't just, look and find that quote. I kind of read the whole first book of his poem. And it's gnarly. I mean, you're talking about, soothsayers cutting open a cow, and instead of blood, it's black bile, and the worst entrails are describing what's about to happen to Rome. But the big theme, one of the big themes of that epic poem, and I think the experience of most folks that have gone through civil wars, whether it was 2,000 years ago or maybe 100 years ago in this country, 150, don't make me do math on air, is how much fear becomes everybody's God in moments like that. And people tend to forget God or the gods in the Roman context. And it's just suffering and reprisal and revenge. This entire nation, if not this world, dodged that bullet. I still tremble a bit, despite my pride and seeing that defiant fist in the air of what would have happened if the bullet had been closer. What we all would have seen. And it wouldn't have been a movie. It wouldn't have been some rendering or cartoon. It would have been the realest thing ever. And who knows what would have happened then. And honestly, who knows what the heck is going to happen in the weeks and months to come.
Yeah.
That said, Joe Biden, the president of these here United States, took a little while to get a statement out.
Yeah, I think a few people beat him to it.
I think Barack Obama beat him to it.
That's what I heard.
Pretty much everybody across the board saying they completely think political violence has no place in America. Though there are many commentators on the right saying, wait, so you're wishing literally Hitler well now?
Yeah, that's exactly what they meant. There have been a few. There's been a few people that's had some really in leadership that's had some really crappy comments, and
Oh,
most
yeah.
of them have been called out on it, and I'm glad. CNN had a few, which no surprise from them. But I'm like you, we dodged something here. You know, I've said for a long time, just as an American, since Biden's been in the White House, we just needs a few wins. We just can't get any wins.
Right.
This was a huge win.
Yeah, and it really is the stuff of miracles, of legends.
Yeah, I swell up with pride when I see him stand up and he put them fists up. I never felt, I don't think so much American passion in my life. I knew right then, there's no doubt in my mind, God had a lot to do with that.
No, when you read an old story too, like King Arthur or whatever, Caesar,
Mhm.
when you read these old stories, you're like, yeah, I mean, who knows what's true? And then you see something like what the whole world saw on Saturday, and you're like, okay, I don't have a better explanation other than divine providence, and I'm not usually one to ascribe that.
I'm right there with you.
Man. And so in The Sound and Fury, there were a lot of back and forths too of folks very ugly saying, I wish they hadn't missed.
And there were more than I would have thought would have come out, especially that soon, that quick.
Though those who were alive during JFK's assassination might know that there were folks cheering, especially
yeah, I've kind of heard that.
in places like Texas.
Yeah. Yep.
After Reagan, the attempted assassination against him, there were some folks happy about it. Yeah, politics often comes down to petty hatreds and prejudice without much thought.
Right.
Of course, on the technical side of this, despite our fear or our pride, on the technical side, you have to wonder, how the hell did this happen?
Where do we begin?
How did this catastrophic failure, where it has now been shown brilliant work done online, where somebody mashed together all the videos that have been put out, from when Trump is first shot at to the minutes before he's first shot out. And all the videos, you can see them all at the same time. They're all put on the same time clock and timeline.
Yeah.
And it plays out. People are screaming
Exactly.
at the cops
Exactly.
and videoing it of this guy bear crawling on the roof. They start screaming, at least in the video, 2 minutes before the first shot is fired. There are all sorts of questions about, did the sniper have him within his sights? Did he have permission to fire? Why didn't he fire? Damn the permission.
Yeah.
Did a local officer try to climb up on the roof and was deterred or scared when the rifle was pointed at him? And of course, there's a lot out there, too, that just isn't true, and it's become a little clearer. Right now, if this shooter is who they say, they're now claiming we can't get into his phone, which is bull.
We know
bull.
what that is, yeah.
We're supposed to believe a kid who would have been, 12 when Trump was first elected? Did this, and without leaving a paper trail? By the way, the kid is also just some extra in a BlackRock commercial about funding high schools and stuff. So there are a lot of big questions, technical questions to be asked of how the hell did the Secret Service let this happen?
I don't understand why weren't on rooftops, on every rooftop, because when we opened up Hyundai, we had that grand opening. We had Bush Senior come in. There were those guys on rooftops days before he ever showed up.
Oh, yeah. That's
On
what it's supposed to
every
be. You
single
have an
rooftop
advanced
we had
security
that.
advance
That's
team.
Exactly right. So tell me, who dropped the ball? Somebody dropped the ball.
Well, and there are reports saying, well, that was out right outside of the perimeter and that was up to local police to cover. It seems like the communication levels were downright awful. Many folks pointing out rightfully that you have agents that can't serve as the body guy to Trump because they're not big enough.
Right. Oh, that was so obvious.
It
That
was
so obvious.
true heroism to see those men and women run and cover the president ready to take another bullet is true heroism. But then when you're, not even taller than me, you're like 5'6".
Sorry, but you create a hole in the huddle.
Yeah.
You
You
create
need
a hole in the huddle.
phalanx.
Yep.
A true human shield. There are so many things that have to be answered. Should be answered.
Yeah.
By the way, the news keeps breaking, though. Judge Eileen Cannon has dismissed the classified documents case.
That's right.
Saying Jack Smith was improperly, unconstitutionally appointed. And so we'll see. Do they appeal to the 11th Circuit? Well, Clarence Thomas oversees the 11th Circuit.
I got to go with no on that.
Will they appoint it to a U.S. attorney, maybe to keep the case going, since a U.S. attorney actually was appointed in a correct way? Or will they try to appeal it, thus essentially giving away that they don't even want to try to take this anymore down
That's
the field?
my thought right there.
Of course, the talk of Biden being replaced has sort of died down,
Yeah.
with some Democrats even anonymously putting out quotes that they're assuming Trump's going to win the presidency. Trump announcing just an hour ago that his VP pick will be coming out within hours.
Mm-hmm.
We will know who the vice president, which is a more important choice than ever given the weekend's assassination attempt. But of course, in the midst of it all, something as real and as serious as I've seen doing talk radio over a decade, there are moments that still make you go, am I allowed to laugh? Because, you know, President Biden was trying to bring the nation together. He wanted unity.
Got 2 shots at it there, didn't he?
He was talking about how, you know, go vote. You settle your differences with the vote.
That was the first one, right?
And then he got to this point in his speech, and he said, well, this.
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box. Not.
You heard what I heard, right?
I got to hear it again.
But in America,
Mm-hmm.
we resolve our differences at the battle box.
The battle box.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
And he's going to correct himself, though.
Oh,
You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
I think I heard the same word twice there.
What the hell is a battle box?
Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
Like, are we going to fire up a game of N64 GoldenEye and, like, let's settle this?
Yeah.
Might be a better way of picking presidents. It's just the absurdity in the midst of how serious this moment is. And the initial response from the corporate press was just criminal. CNN, oh, loud noises, Trump fell.
Trump fell. That's what I saw. Trump fell.
Yeah, people had memes out saying Caesar on the Ides of March fell very, very hard, according to CNN.
Mm-hmm.
The downplaying of it by the New York Times, by so many other places as this is coming out, it took me, I watched it 2-3 times. Like my first watch of that moment where the shots are fired, I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Oh, yeah.
Then I watched it again and again, and within a couple watches, I'm like, clearly those are gunshots. We hear them here all the time in Montgomery. And you got to wonder then, okay, he looks like he was hit too. The way he grabs his head, it's like, okay, how much of his head is gone? But it was within a few minutes I figured out, yeah, this is clearly an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
But of course, the memo service for the intelligence community, the New York Times, did want to run with that. Let's not be hasty in this moment.
How is it anything but that? That's what I didn't understand. How is it anything but that?
Yeah. So a little later in the program, we will have at 1 o'clock, the Secretary of State of the great state of Alabama, Wes Allen. He's already in Milwaukee. He will be at the Republican National Convention. He reached out to me and would love to have him on.
Excellent.
So at a little after 1, we will have Secretary of State Wes Allen. At 1:30, we're going to have a guy named Kenneth Valentine, or Ken Valentine. He was a 24-year Secret Service agent, and details covering Clinton, Bush, and Obama. Is got a great book out, where Cheating Death, I believe, is the name of it, and he's been on national shows. He's a very well-spoken, very insightful guest, and we will be picking his brain on what the heck happened with the failures of the Secret Service. Because, you know, maybe you can't say exactly what the failure is other than the obvious, but we need to know very quickly. Trump now saying, RFK Jr., this happened in the last hour, RFK Jr. must have Secret Service protection.
Obviously.
You've had pointing out, say, in Benny Thompson of Mississippi saying, you know, political violence has no place. He had been pushing an act to remove Secret Service from Trump.
Yep.
So there's a lot of cleanup here. But at the end of the day, fear not. More might come. Who the hell knows what twists and turns are going to happen? I keep saying it, Eddie. Relish these times that we live in. Embrace it with courage. Or if you don't have it, look to others who do and follow their lead. You and I both, man, when he raised that fist, you know how I can be. I thought Trump's funny. Trump was the better option stuff. And now I'm like, no, get me a Make America Great Again hat.
You and Elon Musk.
Yeah, a lot of folks coming out now supporting Trump full-throated, and I'm in that same camp. I don't care at this point. You have to put that man back in the White House.
Yep.
Not just out of matter of principle, not just because I think it's a better choice from the country, but we need to complete the story. Because this is, again, the stuff of legend.
Yeah.
272-9228. How about this? Let's hit a break.
All right.
You know, in times like these, you ever get hungry?
Talking
And I watch you eat a whole thing of Kit Kats.
Hello.
I bought them for Eddie. They're pink lemonade Kit Kats, and they didn't really taste that much like pink lemonade.
Not so much. Not so much.
But you know what would really, I think, satisfy our hunger right now?
What's that?
Smokehouse Pit Barbecue.
I'll be going by this week. We're going for breakfast, me and my buddy Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah.
You getting the cheese grits?
You know that's what I'm getting,
Oh,
buddy.
it's so good. I got
know that's what I'm
a
getting.
biscuit, though, the other day
Yeah.
with a Kaneka sausage biscuit with some American cheese added, and then put some of their spicy barbecue sauce on that
Oh,
sucker.
look at you.
Ooh, that's eating, man.
Oh, that's pretty good.
With a big old bowl of cheese grits. And apparently there's one guy, it's kind of a secret menu item. I'll let you in on it.
Yeah?
Can't remember the name of it, but the guy gets a double order of cheese grits, 2 pieces of fried catfish, and just mixes it all in. And I'm like, actually, it sounds pretty freaking
He's from
great.
Elmore County.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Salt of the earth. But breakfast is amazing there. You might think barbecue place for breakfast. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
this is a destination for breakfast. And of course, they have great nighttime entertainment, all sorts of things going on in the evening, and those great barbecue recipes. The original recipes are back on the menu there at Smokehouse Pit Barbecue. So you can always check them out on the Book of Faces. Again, that's Smokehouse Pit Barbecue there in Millbrook, right on Main Street in Millbrook. Just stop by and be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
An update on the real estate market in the River region. Sales of homes for the last 5 months will top 1,900 homes. Even though sales are slightly lower, the average sales price is still climbing. First-home homebuyers comprise over 34% of all sales, with no slowdown in sight for them. We now have more homes on the market in all price ranges, which gives buyers more choices than they've had in over 2 years. Some helpful suggestions for today's homebuyer would be: 1. Work with a local lender for your loan approval. 2. List 3 must-haves for your new home and seek to find properties to match your needs. 3. Work with an experienced and knowledgeable real estate agent to help you with your search, your showings, and receive advice on offers and negotiations. 4. Always use a licensed recommended home inspector when you find the home you choose. For all the details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group at 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Broken bricks, falling fences, damaged doors? Gorilla Glue. Of course. It's incredibly strong and 100% waterproof and bonds, well, virtually everything. While you're at it, look for Gorilla Tape, a heavy-duty double-thick duct tape, and Gorilla Super Glue, great for all your quick fixes and repairs. There's also Gorilla Epoxy, Gorilla Wood Glue, Gorilla Construction Adhesive. Of course. You get it. If you can break it, Gorilla can fix it. For the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to get your cooling system ready for the long, hot summer. Call today about the advantages of the Clark Club membership to be sure you're covered. Call 277-2125. Better call Clark. Alabama certification number 09098.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. But again, a story of dangerous heat indices today and probably tomorrow, too. I think we'll be close to the 105 danger range, if not exceeding it today and tomorrow. The actual high temperature in the upper 90s. But fingers crossed that some of these cooling random storms will be affecting your town this afternoon and this evening. They will be in greater number on the radar today. And in fact, by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be in much greater number, and that may ease the temperature a bit. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. News and views in the afternoon. Or as we're calling this show online, Joey Clark Live. And if you're just tuning in on Twitter X, we got a few, I think, new faces. It's a local talk radio show in Montgomery, Alabama. We cover everything.
Yeah, we do.
Some days it's just real silly. It's us making fun of each other, how stupid we look these days.
Yes. And,
see, but my plan is to keep feeding Eddie Kit Kats and donuts so he eventually becomes fatter than me again.
Yeah. It's not the lack of eating. It's actually getting up and doing other stuff. I think that I'm burning off some calories, I guess.
Maybe I just need to shadow you. That's enough of a workout. But I don't want to be on the backdraft end of things. There might be a little, especially after those Kit Kats.
Yeah.
Let's go to Simpler Days. Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey, gentlemen, I wonder if they moved the Secret Service agent that had the meltdown, the one that was talking in gibberish.
Oh, yeah.
Threatening the other agent. I wonder if they moved her over to the Trump detail because something just wasn't right.
Yeah, it profoundly screwed up. And so, you know, of course, online and Twitter world's going crazy with conspiracy, which I don't blame them. Like a mistake of this magnitude, you got to wonder, what the heck are y'all even doing?
I mean, look at every aspect of it, from the witnesses saying there's a guy on the roof to the after effects.
How did he even get in near the ground with that rifle?
Right.
When Kevin is on the show next time and telling stories, or you're trying to get a story out of him, ask him about the time that a certain major, not him, but a certain major passed out because a presidential detail was not running as smoothly as Mayor Farmer thought it should be.
Ooh.
And he passed out right before the president was supposed to land, and all hell was breaking loose because the operational order had not been met to Mayor Farmer's standard. You know, we had Reagan, we had Bush 1 here a couple of times, and I got a picture shaking hands with Bush 1 with another supervisor at the airport. And I promise you, Mayor Farmer would not have let that happen on his watch.
Well, and you're reminding me, and I wish I had the same command of it because it's not my story. It's a story Dan Moore has told a few times in our time together. And it was, I think, the Reagan visit.
Mm-hmm.
And Emory Fulmer really freaked out the Secret Service because upon, I think, meeting them on the tarmac, he popped his trunk and had an entire arsenal back there.
Look at my toy box.
And we got it covered, guys.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and he would stress you out so bad, you would lose. I mean, you would not sleep for 2 days prior to it. And the Secret Service had their operational order, but Emory Farmer had his operational order. And it better be damn well met, and you better have every bridge, every place secure, and he'd go over it 2-3 times before the detail arrived.
Well, and it's a disservice what we saw Saturday. The folks who do this right, who do it well, the heroism was real with the folks being the body men, essentially.
Yes.
But there were moments where you're looking around like one of the female agents couldn't even holster her firearm.
Melissa McCarthy.
Well, I mean, that is so sad that you've got a person that close to the detail, and that's basic, fundamental.
Yes,
Joey,
it is.
as a law enforcement officer, you go over it 100 times in your mind, because at night you're not going to be able to look down and find your holster.
Right.
And when the stress is on and you got to take your eye off the target that's shooting at you and look down, you're dead. So you know where everything is on your body by instinct.
Yep.
You don't have to look down.
Muscle
that
memory.
just showed a lack of training on her part. But I'm interested to see the forward and the Secret Service, retired Secret Service agent is going to go over this with you. Why the forward advance team didn't secure that route, because you didn't have multiple high-rise buildings.
Right.
This is in a rural area. You had one building, and you should have had, whether it be a meter maid, a school crossing officer, somebody up on that building with a radio saying, hey, there's somebody coming up the side with a gun. But it's going to be interesting to see how they spin this and how who falls on their sword and who takes cover. Y'all have a good day.
Appreciate it, Simpler Days. No, and for the life of me, why have they denied RFK Jr. Secret Service protection? I believe Trump and team were requesting more personnel, too. As the rallies are getting bigger, obviously you just need more people.
Both of them were. I think, and one thing I read was a budget concern as far as towards Trump. But RFK, to me...
a budget concern,
right,
really?
Right. Don't shoot the messenger.
How many billions did you send to Ukraine? A budget concern.
Well, that's why we don't have the money, Joey. You know?
How many millions do you piss away on prostitutes to entertain donors? Excuse me, pardon me.
It's the truth.
We don't have the money.
Don't have the money. But that's where they'll go. When they won't come out and just say the truth because we don't like the guy and we're kind of hoping something happens. And same with Junior. He presented a threat to the Biden administration, so they're like, why would we give it to you?
Yeah. Well, and some law enforcement is rightfully talking about this. I hope it doesn't inspire others.
Hope not.
And you better be on top of security at this RNC, at this convention.
You saw already the crowds that were out there a while ago. Holy cow.
Especially be on the lookout for things like truck bombs.
Mm-hmm.
We're not out of the woods yet. There is always something to fear, but we cannot let fear be our God. Let fear be our guide. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, did I miss something this weekend?
How you doing, Jeff?
I tell you, that I was just, I'm at home this weekend by myself, and I was cleaning up, and I heard my phone ping from a text message. It was Newsmax. Trump shot. I went, what? And I've been on it ever since. Man, what a whew. I remember all the way back when I was 12 years old, and JFK was shot. I can still remember that, man. I was sitting there in my 7th grade classroom at my desk. I mean, but the picture, the shot of the vapor trail of that bullet.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, and I was swearing to my grandfather I could see it, like as they were playing the clip over and over again. I'm like, something is coming off of him. And once that New York Times photographer, who also, as far as photography goes, what an amazing capture, what that guy did in the mayhem. And you can see it plain as day how close it was.
And the man, I mean, we're talking about, less than an inch, and he would ended up like the man that was killed, and the guy, they talked to the doctor that happened to be by the man that was shot. He was attending to him. He said there was gray matter all over his clothes.
And then I
mean,
think Trump is going to
it's
go to the retired police chief's, fire
I
chief's funeral.
Yeah, I mean, just can you imagine?
No.
If he had been killed, what this country would have devolved into, it would have just. I can't even imagine it. What would have been? But thank God it didn't. And you're talking about, they're not even talking about Biden now and dropping out. Who cares?
Yeah.
Well, he's screwed now. I mean, this completely knocked him even off the front page for the rest of the year.
I agree.
No, nobody, and they know, the Democrats, they know now he doesn't have a chance. Who cares? He doesn't have a chance. And now this judge comes out today and dismisses the case down there.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, but what? A few months ago, we're all sitting around going, man, is Trump ever going to be able to get out and do anything? And it's just turned 180 degrees. And
Though some folks, the recent interview Trump did, are pointing out that after being shot, Trump is talking more like Trump than ever. This is a real quote from Trump. He says, "A lot of people say it's the most iconic photo they've ever seen. They're right, and I didn't die. Usually you have to die to have an iconic picture." Oh, my God. And apparently he's torn up the speech he was going to give Thursday, and it's a complete rewrite.
I'm sure. Yeah, but you know where he was at this morning? On the golf course.
I don't know about that.
When is he going to make it? When do you think he's going to make his appearance at the?
If I was planning it, I would go for maximum drama and have it wait till Thursday and have him not appear most anywhere. Statements are fine, print interviews are fine.
Hold him out.
But get very give people some time to sort of like want him to be on that stage.
Yeah.
The big announcement today will be the VP. That's coming out within hours.
Yeah, I've got to watch that live. You talk about a extended standing ovation. Good grief. That might last for an hour.
Yeah.
But, it's, and I know you were, I don't know if you were upset or not. I know there were 13 other people that were this morning when they pulled Meek and Joe off the air.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, boy.
You see the reason?
13 of their viewers were complaining. Oh, they didn't want to, they claim they just wanted to simulcast with the rest of the NBC things, but the CNN leaked the story that they were afraid they were going to say something.
Oh, yeah.
They literally said, they were
backlash.
afraid them or their guests would say something that could would basically hold them liable.
Well, while they're at it, why don't you go ahead and pull Joy and Rachel Maddow and the rest of those?
Well, they did also pull Nicole Wallace.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Like I said, all 13 viewers got very upset, but I think you have more viewers, Joey, than MSNBC does with Morning Joe.
I bet we'll pick up those 13.
Oh, yeah. No, we like old people. I appreciate it, Jim.
Hey, I appreciate you saying that. I'm old people.
See you, Jim.
Later, sir.
All right. Y'all have a good week.
You too, brother.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management. And there at Clearwater's, Reed Waters and his team are ready to help you with tree removal. Maybe you just need to get that that old tree hanging over your home and on your property. Just get it out of there.
Best thing you can do.
It's better to get it out of there early, too, before it falls on your house. Because then you're going to have to call some of our other sponsors as
somebody
well.
else for that, but you don't want it to go there if you don't have to.
Or maybe you're just looking for tree trimming. It could be some major branch overhang around your home, or it could be you're blocking lines of sight or blocking the driveway, and it's a little too much for you to just get with the regular clippers. Of course they can help you with that. Or maybe you have a bunch of overgrowth in your yard that you just can't handle yourself. Again, electric clippers ain't going to cut it.
Right.
Literally and figuratively. Why not have, Clearwater's Property Management come out and help you with it? And, of course, they can also do stump grinding, which can be just an eyesore, but
I see
also...
it so often now. So often where people have these stumps that have sat there for years.
But as they rot, they attract termites, they attract snakes, all sorts of critters.
That's exactly right.
If you want a beautiful yard and a protected home, you need to call Clearwater's Property Management. Call Reed and the team today at 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
Hey, Red Top.
Red Top.
Hey, Red Top.
Put down the joint, pick up the phone.
I think we're on hold.
We're going to go to somebody else.
Okay.
Who's been waiting longer? Line 1.
Okay.
You're on there. Who's this?
Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Well, I want to bring up something that happened in the early part of the 19th century. Andrew Jackson, he ran the Rothschilds out of the United States, and there was an attempted assassination in 1836, which both guns misfired, and Jackson was spared being, executed. And it ushered in the most prosperous period in the history of the United States. From 1836 to 1860, we had our debt-free, publicly owned monetary system restored. And we are looking at the same thing happening now. Then the Rothschilds stirred up the Civil War. Of course, they used various ploys as saying slavery was already agreed to be abolished when the Constitution was ratified. But it was the Rothschild Khazarian mafia who wanted us to get us in a war, get us in debt. They did the same thing to England when they wanted to get back into England and hired Cromwell to start a parliamentary movement. So this is really exciting because I think Donald Trump's in the same position that Andrew Jackson was.
Well, we shall see. I'm not familiar with all the history you're laying down. I'm familiar with Cromwell and Andrew Jackson, and I'm not familiar with the tie-in to the Rothschild family.
Well, Andrew Jackson, see, here's what it was. They had the Bank of the United States.
Right, he vetoed the charter, yes.
The War of 1812 was, we weren't real wild on renewing it, and so the English, Rothschilds, the Bank City of London, sent the army over. And of course, Andrew Jackson whooped up on them, and they gave them one more 20-year charter, and then it was going to expire on 1833. And Jackson got elected president. He vetoed it.
Right. Killed the bank.
And then 1836, he flat out ran them out of the country. And they tried to assassinate him. And then he was the only man in the 19th century to run the Rothschild banking system out of his country. The only two men that did it in the 20th century was Adolf Hitler and Mussolini. They ran the Rothschilds out of their country. Of course, you see what happened to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's exciting times. This is what gets me is these guys. These were not Secret Service snipers. They were under the control of the state governor of Pennsylvania, and they had that guy in their sights for 3 minutes. Had it been a real Secret Service man, they would have shot him immediately. And
Well, I
there's
saw
several
those.
videos.
I saw those reports too. I appreciate the call, Robert.
Okay.
272-9228. I just don't buy ascribing all that to one family. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is T-Spirit.
Hey,
I'm going to
T-Spirit.
bring a little bit of, I hope to bring a little bit of positive, comedic, female levity to the situation. They should have done was had those two young women, what their job should have been, it's just like every woman usually does when she gets a bunch of men around her. She's the one that has the list, that checks off the list. Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? Did you check that? Did you do this? And if you didn't, then she gives you hell because you didn't do it. Someone would have been in charge of making sure that all of those buildings across the way were covered and were covered correctly. And if you can look at a woman and say, God, I can't stand traveling with my wife because she makes me go back and check this 11 million times. That was what those women should have been doing instead of trying to insert themselves into positions that they were not physically capable of handling. They may be capable of handling a child. They may be capable of handling a woman. You put an inactive Marine woman in charge of the checklist that says everything gets, don't have to worry about somebody on a building. She's checked it off, and she's made damn sure that that ain't going to happen. In the case of this Cheadle woman being in charge, tell me where does Pepsi-Cola come into play with
T-Spear, you're breaking up.
Breaking up real bad.
Breaking up. I get your point, though. And because I saw the diversity and emphasis they had recently for the Secret Service. And
they were bragging about it, and we're going to do some more.
Well, I'm sorry that she's not capable. Most women are not capable. I'm 5'3", weigh a little over 100 pounds. Even when I was shooting, and I was doing quite a few in a quarter at household distances. I could put 6 and a quarter at household distances when I was shooting full time. Both hands. They are pushed.
Well,
they can't do this. They cannot do the job that a man can do, period. And they should never have been on the stand with them. If anything, they should have been the ones. If you want to put a woman in, you say, darling, you're in charge of the checklist. And you make sure that it gets done right. Most of the women that I know, they can do the checklist real good.
Well, yeah, maybe we just need to prioritize people's particular roles. I appreciate the call.
Thank you, T-Spear.
You know, and we do have to say, in moments like this, Joe Biden's right, you know. What was that, Joe?
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
Maybe that's what Montgomery needs, a battle box.
Can't they start doing like pre-recorded deals? I think I would, at this point, start to appreciate that a little bit.
Oh, they fixed it in the transcript to say ballot box.
Yeah, but I already saw it.
And he did say...
But in America, we resolve our differences at the battle box. You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
No, that's a true leader right there, folks. Let's go to Red Top. Hey, Red Top.
We lost him.
Maybe we just don't need to go to the phones. All right. 272-9228 if you want to try. Let's hit this break. But first, this part of the program, Eddie, brought to you by Pest Pro Services.
Oh, good folks, Joey.
You know, another great business there on Main Street in Millbrook.
Right there in Millbrook, man.
And Ashley has put together a fantastic team that, well, is very high skilled and truly professional. And they can help you with all of your pest control needs. It could be you're looking for a specific job to get done, like termite inspection and treatment.
Yep.
Or maybe mosquito treatment.
That works very well for me,
you would say
man.
it's worth the money?
Yes. Every day and twice on Sunday. Yes.
There you go. Or it could be you're just looking for a local trusted pest control company that can be your everyday pest control partners.
You really want that, Joey, because it's an extra set of eyes and ears on your property, man.
And so they'll get to know you, the property. Not only will they serve you well, they truly are pros. It's great local folks always giving back. So, you know, it's a win for the community when you're working with Pest Pro, not just for you. So check them out today, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell them that, well, Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Madeline Cannon with Alabama Home Mortgage. Getting pre-approved is the first step towards home ownership. People are often scared or nervous about taking that first step, but I'll tell you, it's nothing to be scared of. At Alabama Home Mortgage, we will take the first step and every step along the way with you. Call us at 567-4223. We will gather the information needed, to tell you exactly what you qualify for. After a call to Alabama Home Mortgage, you will know what price point to shop for, what down payment is required, if any, and what your monthly mortgage payment will look like. We take all the guessing out of it. Then, when you find the house you want to make your home, you are ready to make an offer. Along with your offer, you will submit your Alabama Home Mortgage Pre-Approval Letter. This shows sellers that you've already taken the steps necessary to ensure that you qualify to purchase their home. Wait no longer. It's time to take that first step together. Call me at 567-4223 or start the process online at myalabamahomemortgage.com.
That's Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Kilroy. Hey, Kilroy, how's it shaking?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Pretty good.
So Biden and the whole team, there's a scramble. Should we replace them? Should we not replace them? There's a bunch of infighting. Well, with all the turmoil on that side, what better way to level the playing field with you take out Trump, and then the Republicans are scrambling in the same way. How do we replace them? Who do we get? I mean, if they had taken them out 2 years ago, there's plenty of time. But 2 days before the convention, the timing seems a little suspect to me.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, but let's not be too conspiratorial. It's not like the CIA is still sitting on the most precious files concerning JFK's killing.
Right, no. I should have...
It's just,
I wasn't
it's nuts.
accusing anybody. I'm just saying something seems a little funny there.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And one thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if y'all brought this part up yet, is the shooter was a registered Republican.
Yeah, I've seen some Twitter videos of that.
In the state of Pennsylvania, you can't vote in the primaries as an independent. You have to declare for one party or the other. Of course, it's open field in the general. I've done this many a time. I've voted Democrat in the primaries here, so I can either get a weaker opponent versus my candidate, or the one the least bad one maybe can get in there. So I think it's likely he registered Republican, so he can either vote against Trump in a primary or other people he doesn't like. Just being registered for one party does not mean you're just marching to that party's beat.
No, and there was the whole phenomenon of people registering to vote for Nikki Haley in the primaries. And I mean, we'll see. The fact that they're claiming, we can't get into the guy's phone and there's no internet history, I smell something funky.
And
too.
That's as suspicious as the timing of the shooting. There's something, when there's smoke, there's fire, and I smell a rat.
Well, I appreciate the call, Kilroy.
Yes, sir. Thanks for what y'all do.
Thank you, man.
Papa B, and just a word of warning, we're pretty short on time here, and we got Wes Allen calling in, but what's up?
Okay. Well, something smells fishy in Denmark.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Y'all may as well just want to buckle your seatbelts, folks. And the words of Sam Neill in Jurassic Park, we haven't landed yet. Now, I don't think this is over with by a long shot. Amateur hour is over. Now they're going to send in the real professional plumbers here. So I don't think it's done. I don't think it's over. I think this might just be hopefully enough to get more security around them. But they're still after him. Don't fool yourself.
Oh, you're right. But like I keep saying, and Trump himself saying, fear not. More threats may be on the horizon, but we can't let fear lead us around.
No doubt. But we got to be aware, don't we?
Yes, sir.
So anyway, all right, guys. Thanks a lot. Good show.
Thank you, Papa B. And yes, as promised, Wes Allen, the Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama, he is in Milwaukee at the Republican National Convention. He will be calling in with his reaction to the weekend's events and what he expects to see this week there at the convention. So stay tuned. More news and views after this.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Former President Trump has still not named a running mate, and an announcement could come at any time. His top three contenders, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, are scheduled to speak to Republican delegates at some point this week. And per tradition, the vice presidential running mate is expected to give an address Wednesday night. Investigators hunting for any clues about what may have driven Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, to carry out the assassination attempt on former President Trump. The FBI says it believes the 20-year-old Crooks, who had bomb-making materials in the car he drove to the rally, they believe he acted alone. The Dow had 200 points, and the NASDAQ is up 72. This is SRN News.
Government debt is now exploding by an unprecedented $1 trillion every 90 days. Think of that. It's a clear sign that our nation's finances are spinning out of control, and it's putting the savings of every one of you at risk. Hello, I'm Lance Wallnow, a news analyst and best-selling author and an evangelical leader. I'm deeply concerned about the impact this runaway debt is going to have on Christians like you who have worked hard to build your own nest egg for your family. To protect your financial future in these uncertain times, you need to diversify with something tangible and proven, like physical gold. That's why I recommend a gold IRA. To learn more, text FAITH to the number 989898, and my friends at Birch Gold Group will rush you a free info kit on how to move your IRA or 401k to physical precious metals, tax and penalty free. So don't wait. Just text the word FAITH to 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs. Birch Gold Group is the only company I trust. There's no obligation. So text FAITH to 989898, and I pray this information helps you achieve prosperity and peace of mind.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. But again, a story of dangerous heat indices today and probably tomorrow, too. I think we'll be close to the 105 danger range, if not exceeding it today and tomorrow. The actual high temperature in the upper 90s. But fingers crossed that some of these cooling random storms will be affecting your town this afternoon and this evening. They will be in greater number on the radar today. And in fact, by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be in much greater number, and that may ease the temperature a bit. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Don't miss our great package deal right now on a 25 horsepower Kubota tractor with front end loader and more. All for 0% APR 84 months with approved credit.
Now through September 30th, 2024. See Capital Tractor or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. 2 females were injured in a Saturday night shooting in Montgomery. Police responded to a local hospital where a woman and a juvenile girl were suffering from gunshot wounds. Investigators determined that both victims were shot in the 2400 block of East-South Boulevard near Woodley Road. Suspect and motive unknown. Montgomery police have launched a death investigation after a fatal stabbing. 21-year-old Tiana Dye was found stabbed about 10:45 Sunday morning in the 400 block of Clanton Avenue just off South Hull Street. Dye was taken to a local hospital where she was later pronounced dead. A man out on bond for burglarizing a Montgomery business in June was arrested again for the same crime at the same business. 20-year-old Deontay White broke into the Dollar General on Lower Wetumpka Road just after closing Friday night. White made off with beer and tobacco products, but was arrested a short time later at a home on nearby Broadview Street. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or we're calling it online, Joey Clark Live. And now, as promised, calling us from Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, we have the Secretary of State for the great state of Alabama, Wes Allen. Sir, how you doing today?
Doing fine, Joey. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on today.
Thank you for being on. So first, your initial reaction to what transpired this weekend, the assassination attempt against President Trump.
Well, like you and the rest of your listeners, just shock and appall, you know, and when I first heard it, first thing I thought was, I get the television so I can learn more about what's going on. And then, of course, I mean, what could have happened there on live television is just, you know, you don't want to think about it, really.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm so glad that good Lord had his hands over that situation for the former President Trump. But I will say the young man, the guy that perished, and the other 2 that are critically injured still, the more I learn about that gentleman, that firefighter in that small community who invested in his church, invested in his community, dove and, you know, shielded his wife and daughter. And he was just there expressing, just listening to the president and participating in the rally. And, you know, I think that's one thing, Joey, we could probably look back on, the sacrifice that guy made. And he's just like me and you, it appears from all reports.
Yeah.
Just a guy that gets up and goes to work every day, and a guy that we could be friends with, you know. And that's a shame, and it's just heartbreaking that he lost his life because of that evil man on the rooftop.
Yeah, and it's but by the grace of God go I. And
That's right.
You never know when that day comes, and everybody should say a prayer for that man, his family, and for the nation. I think you're right. The nation dodged a bullet with what could have been and what could have been seen by everybody. And it's crazy that we're now heading into this week because so much breaking news with Judge Eileen Cannon dropping that documents case against Trump. And now apparently the VP announcement coming up here, and you find yourself right there at the epicenter, right there at the convention in Milwaukee. So I guess my first question is, how does the security seem there?
Well, first off, I went down around the convention hall, the arena, and they've got blocks quarantined off under fence, under barriers, under barricades, and then they've got law enforcement from all over the country, Joey, all over the country, that are coming in to help Milwaukee, to help the state police, to help Secret Service, local police departments from all over the country are here. Such a huge law enforcement presence. I feel safe. I felt safe last night. Didn't feel in a bit any kind of threatened way. Wasn't uncomfortable in any way. So it's definitely a secure location, and especially after the weeks of or after the days from Saturday, that everybody's, as far as law enforcement, they are very, very vigilant.
So what are you expecting to see? I don't expect you to give your whole itinerary, but what are you expecting to see and be doing up there at the convention?
Well, first off, this is my first Republican National Convention that I've ever been to.
Oh, wow.
And I've been involved in politics for a long time. I was on the state Republican Executive Committee for years. I was chairman of the Pike County Republican Party for years. But this is my first one, and I'm excited about it, and was excited about it before, everything transpired like it did. But I think it's really energized what happened over the weekend. It energized the attendees, the delegates, everybody that's here supporting the president. It's galvanized, I think, their support. I think, in my opinion, everybody is ready to lock arms, march forward on a platform that is, talking about freedom, prosperity, liberty, those things that can help make our country great. And I think that's what we're looking forward to. This week is going to be an exciting week. I'm excited to be here with the Alabama delegation, and it's going to be fantastic.
Well, and Alabama very well represented. I think I saw that Senator Britt will be speaking. I don't know when that will be, but who else is up there, just to kind of give the cast of characters?
Oh, goodness. From the ones I've seen so far, elected federal elected officials, Representative Barry Moore, Representative Jerry Carl. I haven't seen Representative Adderholt yet, but he's around. Man, you've got local officials from all over Alabama who are delegates as well, and just so proud of them and the conservative values and principles that they represent. And I know Dale Strong's here. It's a strong delegation, and I haven't seen Senator Britt or Senator Tuberville yet, but I look forward to visiting with them soon. And it's going to be a great week.
Now, the VP pick is any moment now. Fox has got a big chyron that says Rubio, not Trump VP pick, according to sources. But who would you like, and then who do you think he's going to pick? Maybe the two overlap.
Well, I saw something on social media. You may have saw it too, that Secret Service picked up J.D. Vance, this morning. So I don't know if that's any kind of indication or if that's just some way to throw off who's going to be the pick. I trust Donald Trump in this pick. I'm certain that he's going to pick someone that complements him well, that someone that's going to be energetic, someone that's going to be conservative, someone that can articulate our party's values and where we're headed as a party, first, and then second, the vision, bold conservative America First vision to take us through November the 5th, campaigning, crisscrossing all over the country, to get us on a course, bring down the inflation so we can afford groceries and gasoline again, so we can stop the invasion at the southern border, be energy dominant once again. I mean, all those things. And so whoever he picks, I trust him. I'm not going to guess who that's going to be, but we'll see here in, I think they said shortly. So we'll see what happens.
And then another source saying Burgum told he's not the pick. So I'm thinking.
Okay, we're getting it narrowed down then, aren't we?
Yes, sir. Well, and before I let you go, I know that we've talked about this issue of confirming whether or not voters are actually citizens, people that register to vote. And I know that Congress has been attempting to do that SAVE Act, I believe is what it's called. And I mean, how important is it for them to say, add that to a budget to get this done? How important is it to have that mechanism to check citizenship of a registered voter?
Well, given the unfettered access invasion of what's happening at the southern border, it's important that we have the tools necessary to verify citizenship. This is not hard. I don't understand how this is just not common sense. And you had 198 elected officials from the Democratic Party vote against that when it was in the House last week. The Democratic Senate blocked it from coming up for a vote. I just don't, I can't wrap my brain around that, Joey, how in the world that they are against only Americans voting in our elections. And that's a hard stop for us. Only American citizens should be voting in our elections. Give us the tools we need to verify citizenship. Take away the opportunities where legal non-citizens and illegal aliens are even receiving these voter registration forms. They shouldn't even have the opportunity to register to vote. And it's highly important. I visited with Speaker of the House Johnson last night. I saw him, and I told him thank you for bringing that to a vote. And we've got to keep pushing the issue, and that's why we've got to have Trump. That's why we've got to have a Senate GOP majority, and then, of course, the House GOP majority as well. It's important.
Yes, sir. Well, enjoy the week. It's good that this is your first one, and I know there is a lot to be looking at and covering. So God bless, Wes, and we'll talk again soon.
Sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Joey.
Again, folks, that's Wes Allen, Secretary of State here for the great state of Alabama. And so, okay, so sources say it's not Rubio. Sources say it's Burgum was just told he's not the pick.
Right.
Trump was teasing him, going, actually, I haven't made the decision yet. After teasing that it's going to be announced soon. Good to see
he's eliminating some. He's letting you know who it's not.
I just sat here for an hour, how serious we were about all this. Trump is the guy who at one point during that walk-in talk outside of Marine One, this is about Kim Jong-un in North Korea, looked up at the sky and goes, I am the chosen one. He now was miraculously saved from being assassinated.
No doubt about that.
What is it? Churchill said there's nothing more exhilarating than being shot at without result. And Churchill literally, all the times he survived death, and it was many times in his life, because he's in the middle of a lot of wars, but all sorts of freak accidents too. He started to believe he was an avatar or something, a character in Destiny. That, like, I've had too many close calls.
Oh, there's a reason you're here. There's a reason you're here.
How do you think Trump feels about himself now?
Very well. I think he thinks of himself very well. And I believe he really does realize he's a lucky man.
Yeah.
Very lucky man.
Because the graphic people are showing, like, how much he turned his head.
That was it.
A remarkable turn of events, folks. Wish it wasn't even something we were having to talk about. I wish we were still talking about Joe's incompetence and who they're going to replace him with. But also, this is, again, the stuff of legends.
Yeah. At this point, and I know this is just craziest thoughts on the table, but at this point, Joe should call the movers, go ahead and call Trump and said, hey, by Friday, I'll just leave the keys under the mat. You take it from here. That'd be the best thing all the way around.
Yeah. No, and in his speech, he also accidentally almost said, make America great again, and caught himself. Apparently him and Trump did talk on the phone.
Yeah.
It was the first statement he did, like with the camera and stuff, the day of, the evening on Saturday.
Okay.
He kept calling him Donald, which I actually thought was like, okay, that's a nice touch, but it's the stormy political skies that this thunderbolt came out of. When you mess with the weather, the political weather, the weather tends to mess back. Now, a lot of folks are either putting this on the heinous, over-the-top branding of Trump as like the new Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
And some folks are rightly pointing out, wait, now you're praying for literally Hitler? Did you believe it or not? Or are you just full of crap?
Right.
But then other folks are now pointing at, say, the incompetence, the huge holes in Secret Service going, no, is this the deep state?
That's where I look at it. That's exactly how I looked at it.
And the fact that we don't really know much about this 20-year-old,
well, let me
and we're
ask you,
now 48 hours later almost.
When's the last time the government ever told you something that you could believe them on face value?
Been a while.
What's changed?
Good point. We shall see. This part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And there at All Pro, they have your back with, well, it's in the name, with your HVAC system.
Some cool air.
Or with making sure you want to have the electricity secure and sound, especially if you're looking for, like, say, redundant backups, like a generator.
Yes.
And they can install a Generac generator there. And they even offer financing with approved credit. And, of course, if you want to keep those electrical services on when the storms roll through, power goes out, they have your back.
I know a neighbor of mine that's calling them today. Saturday, sun was out. We lost power for about 2.5 hours.
Right.
And he's just livid. So he has some equipment that just cannot do without power, and he's worried about his power banks going down. And I said, you know what? We got a new sponsor. They do Generac generators. Give me the number. Let's say it nicely is what he said. Give me the number. Give it to me now.
301-1961. That's 301-1961. And don't forget, if you're in the middle of this summer here in Alabama and you haven't had a basic checkup of your heating and air system,
you need it.
Especially the AC. Oh, you need it.
You need it.
And it might be time, say you're in a 20-year-old home?
Yeah.
Could be time for a new one.
Service on that AC.
Yeah. And, of course, All Pro can help you with all that. So, again, that number, 301-1961, or you can always go to allproheatingair.com. That's allproheatingair.com. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellows on the radio, sent you. We are awaiting a call from Kenneth Valentine.
Right.
He is a retired Secret Service agent, served 3 presidents over 24 years. I'm looking forward to talking to this gentleman. I've never met him. We're texting with him a little bit. And just going to pick his brain and lean on his expertise for what he's seen.
I'd like to get his thoughts on what he saw.
Yeah, well, and especially now that it's a little later and we have more information, in fact. So we'll see. But you can go to KennethValentine.com if you want to check out what he's all about. And he's the author of a book called Cheating Death. So 3-time presidential Secret Service agent lives to tell you how to cheat death. So I look forward to talking to Kenneth Valentine coming up here very soon. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola.
Hey, Eric.
What's up, Eric?
How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Y'all think Trump thinks he's got some plot armor? He hears Eye of the Tiger every time he starts talking.
Oh, yeah, main character energy.
Yes, no doubt.
I ain't no NPC, all right?
I just think about listening to the fat electrician. He always says that, he'll be talking about something. He says he dons his plot armor and trudges ahead into the trenches.
Yeah.
And it's well, maybe not Eye of the Tiger. It's probably Du House. Take that. Look up the lyrics. You'll see what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
That's I don't know, man. There's just so much about this just seems so wrong. And even my wife, who is completely apolitical, she's like, so a 20-year-old kid did this?
Mm-hmm.
How did a 20-year-old kid do this? I was like, I don't know. There's stuff out there, People get crazy. She didn't get it. She didn't believe that part of it.
And was it essentially they're saying it was an AR-15 type platform, the gun he used? So that was that 223?
Yeah, that shoots a 223. It'll make a boo-boo.
Yeah, not known for great accuracy, but yeah.
That is a hell of a way to get your ear pierced. So I think, he needs to tone it down from the WWE standards. That's just not gonna. We don't want to see him get his ear pierced like that. That ain't good.
It really does sound like if I told you this with no video evidence, or no photographic evidence, all the different angles, would people believe it?
No.
This is the stuff of myth and legend.
But I just wonder if his ear is going to look like Evander Holyfield's ear. Is he going to have that split?
Or Randy Couture?
I
think they call it cauliflower.
Cauliflower. You don't ever fight somebody that's got cauliflower
I
ear.
don't.
Don't.
I don't like cauliflower, but I'll eat it with butter and pepper. That's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what you're supposed to think about all this. And there's too much coincidence. Where'd the guy get the gun? I mean, there's just a ton of. There's a lot of questions, and I think this is our JFK. And I don't think we're ever going to know. I don't think our grandkids will know.
Well, but this is more, thank God, a happier story of, say, a Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Did you notice how quickly they started talking about that being shot at wasn't unique to presidents or Trump? You know, that wasn't a unique thing. Several other presidents have been shot at. I was watching. I don't have cable. I had some service on. I think it was. I was on YouTube watching CBS or something. They're like, yes, and other presidents that have been shot at. Not, this isn't a unique situation for Trump. I'm like, are you serious? Right now.
Right.
I mean, I get that it's accurate, but I mean, we're going to diminish and downplay what happened.
Well, don't you remember when Bush got the shoes thrown at him? I mean, that's what they're basically trying to compare it to. They're trying to just take the seriousness
absurd.
right out of it. That's what they're trying to do. They want to take the seriousness right out of it.
Don't, no more taxes. Watch my lips. No more taxes.
1,000 points of light. Stay the course. I got to run.
Steady on a hill. All right, y'all.
See you, dog.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And there at Montgomery Men's Health, well, they can help you men out, especially if you're feeling run down and tired all the live long day. Just don't feel like you used to. Like you used to go all day, all night without petering out. And yet now you're fall asleep after lunch. Ugh.
Happens.
And maybe you're not even in the mood. And your wife, your girlfriend, she's good looking. And you're still not in the mood. You never want to do anything like that. Well, all these issues could be a sign of low testosterone. Right. And it's not only happening to guys in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. There is now an epidemic of young men, even in their 20s, with low testosterone. So to figure out, what's causing these issues, go by Montgomery Men's Health. The providers there will conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99.
That's it, $99, man.
And they have low T treatments there that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
Right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism. You usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon, or as we're calling this thing online, Joey Clark Live. You can always watch on YouTube at Joey Clark Live or at the Joey Clark on X or Twitter X. And as promised, I've been looking forward to this conversation. Wish it was under better circumstances, but this is somebody, as I was reading up on him, we listen in, folks. Stop what you're doing and listen in. We have on the phone Kenneth Valentine. He is a now retired Secret Service agent, worked for, I believe, 24 years, serving 3 presidents, Clinton, Bush, and Obama, and he joins us now. Sir, how are you today?
Hey, I'm doing okay. A little frustrated, a little tired, but I'm doing okay, and I'm glad to be on your show, brother.
Well, thank you for being here, sir. And so there's so many questions. First, I would like to just show folks where you're coming from before we get into what happened over the weekend. Just a little more of your background. Of course, if folks want to read in detail, you have a book called Cheating Death. So it seems almost like I'm giving you short shrift to say, oh, he served 3 presidents. In your own words, how would you describe your 24 years there with the Secret Service?
Well, I absolutely loved my career with the Secret Service. It was a dream of mine, and I went in with eyes wide open, and I absolutely loved it. It was a storybook career for me. I started in Louisville, Kentucky, and then went to the President's Detail for the last year of President Clinton, and then I was there for the first 4 years of President Bush, and my last day on the President's Detail, the first time, was with his second inauguration, and that's what the publisher used for the cover of the book Cheating Death. Very, very proud history, great time. I left, I bounced around various offices, including Oxford, Mississippi, where my wife is from, and then I got promoted and went back to the President's Detail during the tenure of President Obama. I served another 5 years there, so 10 years total, serving 3 different presidents in D.C., 16 years in D.C., and time in various other offices for a total of 24 years. I retired as the special agent in charge of the Dignitary Protective Division out of Washington.
So that said, and again, thank you for the service. And I know the book Cheating Death, there are a lot of stories we could cover, but seeing what happened this weekend, the assassination attempt against President Trump, if you were tapped to, say, lead an investigation, what are the basic questions that need to be asked here?
Well, there are a number. There are a number of questions that have to be asked. The most obvious one is, how did a man with a gun ascend a building that was within easy range of a secured venue? All of that should have been secured. It should have been monitored, and it should have been dealt with before rounds were fired. And so, the truth is that a lot of people get on roofs to watch events where possible, and we're used to that. We see that all the time. The question is, what you're kind of worried about in that scenario is, okay, we see a couple of people on a roof, they've got binoculars, they look harmless. Well, now one of them has a long-range camera that could be nothing, but did they stash a weapon up there? Do they have other intent? And so you watch those things, and where possible, you send an officer and an agent, usually in tandem, to get them down. We don't want the distraction. We don't want them up there. And somehow this guy spent at least some time on that roof, long enough to prone out and sight in a decent shot on the president. So, all of those questions, but it goes back to the advance. And this is where the Secret Service earns their money is doing the advance work. And advance work is not bodyguarding. It's setting up the security plan, coordinating the security plan, and then making it happen. And obviously something didn't go well here. And, I don't like using the term failure, but it's a little inescapable when your protectee is at an event that you secured and he's being whisked out bleeding from a gunshot wound that was inflicted upon him from an area that should have been secured. So completely unacceptable. I think the FBI is now in charge of that investigation. That's the way our laws are written. We do the work. They come, from behind here and check it all out.
Right.
Certainly hope for an impartial investigation and that all the facts are borne out, including, the manpower. We would have asked for this many teams to do this much work, and here's how they would have been allocated. And, I'd like to see that plan to make sure that they followed the protocol and the methodology that's been established for so many years.
Well, and I wonder sometimes, too, is this just somebody dropping the ball, or any of these incidents, or you could apply it to beyond to say, war fighting. Everybody's planning for the last war, the last time something might have occurred. And I wonder why, it just seems like a catastrophic failure, to the point of some of these harrowing videos you're seeing where folks in the crowd are seeing the guy climb up on the roof, do the bear crawl across it. Videos of snipers behind Trump seem to have their eyes on him. And would somebody have something in an earpiece? Is there, say, like a command staff that's sort of running everybody that's around the venue?
Yeah, of course. That's Secret Service. We have what we call a command post for the whole event by President Trump, and then you have a security room, and through there the radio communication is put out on all the various frequencies that we would be using, and it's a collaborative effort between the Secret Service and state and local law enforcement, any federal agencies that we bring to bear on that problem. But that command post and security room are the clearinghouse for all of those radio traffic communications that should have been going forward, saying we've got someone on a roof. That's common, and that's not need for evacuating the president. But at the point where they're identifying this person with unusual behavior, that's a heightened alert. He has a weapon. Well, it's over. You're dealing with that. And the counter snipers that are part of the Secret Service are drawn from the uniform division of the Secret Service in Washington. Special group of people. They have to volunteer for that assignment. They have to try out before they're ever given any training, and so they're some of the sharpest people I've ever known. My question about the sniper situation is how many teams did we have? Because they work in tandem. You have a spotter on the binoculars, and then you have a shooter, and then they both revert to being shooters if you have a threat identified. But one team is rarely enough for a single venue. Certainly not one surrounded by high ground in the form of buildings with a crowd of 50,000 people. That's a big event. So I'm going to be curious to see in the investigation how many counter sniper teams did they have. If they say they had two, I want to make sure they're saying two teams and not two snipers. That should be four snipers.
Again, folks, we're talking to Ken Valentine. He is a retired 24-year Secret Service agent. And again, check out his book, Cheating Death, if you want a lot of the stories of his career and what he has seen and what he's experienced. Another aspect of this, and it is true heroism to see the agents running to cover and protect the president, put their body in the way, create the human shield. Number one, what sort of training, and I imagine there's psychological training that goes into that, but then other folks pointed out that if you have a 6'2" man, should you really have somebody, say, under 5'10", trying to provide cover and a phalanx in that regard? But what goes into that sort of that moment and being prepared for that moment?
Well, that's a great question, Joey, and I appreciate you asking that, because that was what I did. That I was what we call a shift agent. I was assigned to the president first with Clinton, and then with Bush, and then Obama. But there's an immense amount of training that goes into just being a brand new Secret Service agent. 6 months of training, and you learn all of that type of threat reaction and taking down a protectee, and your job is really to cover and then evacuate, and that's what you saw him do. And I think that's a great line to draw, because the key to a good advance is prevention, and that didn't happen. They did not prevent rounds from being launched into a secure venue. So that is a failure. It's a big one, and it needs to be investigated. But I will say, from the point of, obviously, that they did not get any kind of radio traffic saying we have a shooter on a building, because they would have done what you've seen them do at that communication. So what they were doing was reacting to rifle shots, and then the president reacting in grabbing his ear. And I have to say, they were pretty fast. I mean, that was a good reaction. It looked like one of our training scenarios, and they did exactly what they were trained to do with bullets in the air. I can't believe none of them were hit. But action's always faster than reaction, so they're reacting to shots fired, and I'll give them credit for that. Some of them are friends of mine, and I thought they did a good job. The evacuation part of it looked tough. I don't know, they had stairs to descend, and then they had to, chicken walk him over to the car, and yeah, it's tough when not everybody's the same size and weight trying to carry that. You make a great point, but that's I'll leave it at that.
Well, and I said at the beginning of the show, because I was watching this almost live. I was kind of alerted to it like 2-3 minutes after it happened. I'm seeing the first videos of Trump grabbing his ear and going down, and wondering what the heck happened, because he couldn't really tell. And as my fear just started welling up in me, and as I saw him pumping his fist, though, my fear turned to pride. I have to imagine, though, in terms of trying to get him out of there, that wasn't exactly protocol to have him stop and start pumping his fist in the air and yell fight.
As much, you're right. I mean, as much as I'm super proud of him, and I give him total credit. I've only met him one time. I retired in 2020, and so I met him one time when we were at an event. But I love his reaction. I'm certain, though, that it did make it difficult for them to try to get him in that car when he's sort of try to push against that. But it so reminded me of when Ronald Reagan was shot, joking with the doctors as he was going into the ER. Just the presence of mind to be able to relay to the American people that I'm okay, we're okay, and we'll get them. Reminiscent of President Bush, whose detail I was on during 9/11, at Ground Zero, saying, "I hear you, and the world's going to hear from us shortly." It just makes you proud to be an American to see these guys, doing what they do, and I kind of hate to appreciate it, but I was kind of glad to see him pumping the fist, just because it meant he was really okay. But it did make it more difficult, I know, for them to try to get him in a car.
Now, in your long career, I'd imagine y'all the job is well done when there's no news, and no incidents, no even clear threats. But were there ever moments that were a bit tense or worrisome that just didn't get out into the public, that something was stopped very quickly and it didn't become a news story? Did you have any of those moments in those 24 years?
Yeah. Anyone who's been around for 24 years gets those moments, and the things that were averted and prevented that just don't make the news, they do happen, and a lot of times we don't even hear about them until afterwards. If you're the direct close support for the president, and it happens on the outer perimeter, we could leave a country before we find out that the locals took a rifle or a handgun away from somebody that was coming after our president. But that's where that prevention comes in, and that's why it's so critical that we stop these things before they're a threat. You know, it's just a shame to me that this guy wasn't stopped before getting up on the roof. That's got to be figured out why that didn't happen. And then once he's on the roof, you know, who didn't see him? You know, I think, you know, like you said, I think people were shouting that there was someone on the roof. Yeah. They had to be looking at that, and why the counter sniper didn't fire. You know, what didn't he see? What did he see? That'll all come out. It'll be good to just know, you know, what the heck.
Yeah, because there is a moment where one of the counter snipers almost seems startled when the first shot rings out. And then, of course, the return fire and the shooter's taken out very quickly. But it's just, in a way, there aren't words. I'm supposed to be a talk radio host, and it took me a few days to start producing those words. I just hope that the whatever was the failure here is figured out incredibly quickly, because this is the last thing the nation needs on just a human level to see. I can't imagine modern technology, for instance, Ken, like the videos we were all seeing on Twitter, it could have been the worst and unutterable, unthinkable being shared all over the world.
I don't think you can exaggerate how close President Trump was to not surviving this. I mean, a slight turn of the head, if that bullet had caught any wind, moving further toward, you know, inward, a millimeter makes all the difference in the world when, you know, it starts tumbling. And, you know, the Lord was in it. I don't see how anyone can say that he wasn't spared, because this, you can't get any closer and still survive. So it was, I'm grateful for that. It's a tragic day, though. You know, the word tragic's overused, but you know, this is our democracy in play, and this is how it happens. And it's not supposed to, you know, you're not supposed to be at risk of your life doing this. There's always risks, but this is what the Secret Service was designed to do. This is the mission that we were given to do, and obviously that whatever plan was in effect did not hold up. And I suspect that what we're going to find out is that there was some protocols, some typical protocols that just simply weren't followed for one reason or another. But the methodology, it's worked. I suspect it'll work going forward, but you have to be a slave to the methodology.
There you go. Well, and I really appreciate, I'm grateful for your time today here on the program. Would you suggest folks just go to KennethValentine.com if they want to, say, check out your book? And of course, you're also doing speaking events and leadership training.
I am, yes, sir. And that website has a link to Amazon. It's out, you know, in all the usual places. But you know, the book was really me giving advice to my kids, and cheating death is a term that we used on the president's detail when I was there to talk about the mission and to bring a little levity to the seriousness of what we were doing. But it was also a reminder that if you don't do your job, this is what's going to result, because there are people out there that want our leaders dead, and we saw it. You know, we saw that in play on live TV here, and I'm grateful that President Trump's going to have a chance to go forward, and you know, democracy wins.
Well, Ken, I really do appreciate the time, sir, and God bless.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Again, Ken Valentine, folks. You can go to KennethValentine.com, and yeah, there were a lot of blurbs, Eddie, that a lot of folks saying, man, this guy's the real deal. Go read the book. And you heard it in his voice. That's a true professional there. I think he is as flabbergasted, maybe more so than the average bear, because he's been in that line of work.
Been inside.
So you got to wonder what the heck, in particular, the advance work.
That's where.
Like, how do you miss that spot?
Lots of people are questioning that. It needs to be.
You know, and I worry that, like many other things in this nation, that we won't get to the bottom of it. Like, still, have we gotten a definitive answer from the government on the origins of COVID?
Nope, but I bet when Trump does get back in office, that Kennedy file gets released.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yep.
Needed to be done.
Yep.
Years ago. Clinton should have put it out there.
No doubt.
Dadgummit.
No doubt. But now that he's seeing this from the other side, guaranteed he's going to release it.
And also, still awaiting Trump's EP announcement. Sources saying Burgum got a call that he's not the guy. Rubio doesn't think he's the guy. And there's speechifying already going on there in Milwaukee. I'm just thinking of that scene in Wayne's World with Alice Cooper. What a time to be alive. We got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hey folks, thank you for making CTE Outdoor Power a preferred dealer and Hustler one of the most popular riding mowers. Recently, I met a couple from Evergreen who discovered us because friends recommended both CTE and Hustler. They heard our team of friendly, helpful professionals would guide them to the Hustler model that's the best fit for them, and that because we support all the products we sell, we take the hassle out of future needed parts and service. They liked Hustler because of the highest quality and warranty, and that we partner with Hustler to offer 0% interest financing. Now, if you haven't discovered Hustler and CTE yet, now is the perfect time because this month when you mention this ad, we'll pay the sales tax when you purchase any new riding mower. Folks, can you get all that anywhere else? CTE Outdoor Power, I-85 at Perry Hill Road and CTEOutdoorPower.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. But again, a story of dangerous heat indices today and probably tomorrow, too. I think we'll be close to the 105 danger range, if not exceeding it today and tomorrow. The actual high temperature in the upper 90s. But fingers crossed that some of these cooling random storms will be affecting your town this afternoon and this evening. They will be in greater number on the radar today. And in fact, by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be in much greater number, and that may ease the temperature a bit. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Prattville Carpet is a family-owned flooring store that prides itself on personal service, quality products, and guaranteed installation. From beautiful hardwood floors to luxurious smart strand carpet, Prattville Carpet has you covered. Call, come by, or online at prattvillecarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This entire hour, again, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And are we going to see Madeline tomorrow? We need to text her or something.
I will check with her. I've been talking with her a lot today, so I'll check with her tonight, see if she's coming. I believe she is.
Because we're due.
Yes. She had to get back on her regular schedule.
Well, of course, they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Madeline Cannon, Kim Williams. They can help you there at Alabama Home Mortgage with buying a home. Maybe it's not your first rodeo.
Right.
But you're looking for great professional local folks you can trust. Or it could be it's your first time.
Right.
And you want, again, great local professional folks you can trust that can walk you through the process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. And, you know, there are things people might not know, like the appraisal part, the inspection part.
Very important.
Or it could be you're a veteran and you're trying to understand the VA home loan programs.
They can tell it to you like nobody else can, man. They're VA experts.
And that applies to buying a home, but also refinancing a home.
Yep.
So if you, let's say, are stuck under a mountain of credit card debt or any sort of debt and you need to consolidate, a refinance deal is a great way to do it.
Really good way.
Through your mortgage, or maybe you're doing all right, you just want to rearrange your finances. You Want to reinvest in your property or yourself or your family, they can help you with whatever your goal is there at Alabama Home Mortgage. So give them a call today at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. MLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Let's go to Chicken Man. Hey, Chicken Man, how you doing?
Hi, pretty good, Joey. A question I would have asked your guest, Kenneth Valentine. Now, this could be major or it could be a minor little issue, but of course, watching the videos, you know, the whole scene, you know, the Secret Service, you know how it is. He even said it. Kenneth even said it. They did their job. They did a good job. They're top-notch people. But a few things I noticed, you know, some mistakes that were, you know, that the Secret Service made is one. But you know, one that I noticed was when the Secret Service were putting Trump in the vehicle. I noticed one of the agents stumbling when she was trying to put her gun back in her holster.
Right.
And she took her eyes and you know away from the environment, the danger zone, to look at her holster
several times. Yeah.
You know, and you don't do that. You know, the military training that I did, I went through several courses, and every second counts. You know, there was training we did. You know, they would pop up a picture, and they'd give you a few seconds to look at that picture, because every second counts in a picture. And when you're a Secret Service agent, and like he said, they're trained to do this. But when they popped that picture up, you were given like a few seconds to identify the whole picture, and then you had to tell what color was that shirt the guy was wearing, what time was on the clock, right. You know. And so my point is that training that they go through, is very rigorous, but every second counts in your life or death, and sure there can be improvements that in any situation that they can.
And there's a lot of different information, different pieces to this puzzle. I heard Bongino saying over the weekend that actually some of these folks were from Homeland Security, not full Secret Service, and he said they're normally good. They're good folks, but they're not trained in the same way a Secret Service agent is. So we'll see.
Well, one thing I like to hear is they're gonna do a thorough investigation, and they're gonna work on these tweak the little problems that they've got to get through.
Yes, sir.
So so we don't have a future occurrence of this. And like y'all said before, why was it not noticed that guy was on the roof to begin with? It could have been avoided.
Especially now there are reports he was around, the entrance to the facilities with the magnetometers all around, and people were already focusing on him, saying he's acting odd. There are certain mistakes and aspects of this. You can even hear it in Mr. Valentine's voice. Like, this is just catastrophic failure.
Right. And a lot of it, we never know, the situation, the what if, what if we would have done that or done this, that. So it's a learning experience, but hopefully we can learn from that and not make the same mistakes in the future.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what did the advanced security team actually find, and was there, especially looking at the team, a personnel issue, a lack of actual just numbers there and eyes on the situation. But I appreciate the call, Chicken Man.
Have a good day.
272-9228. Let's go to the phones, talk to Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Joey.
How you doing? Are you safe and sound there at Cohen's?
I am. That's a hell of a man that took that shot the other day.
Oh, President Trump?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
It was a little punk. It was a little punk that did it.
Oh yeah.
But for him to duck down, come up with his ear, and fight.
That's right.
He's a warrior.
I know the world held their breath for a couple of minutes. There ain't no doubt.
I did.
Yeah.
At least half of us.
Yeah.
No, and I mean it. Y'all know I think Trump's hilarious. I think Trump was the better option, but I'm always hesitant to praise any politician too much. After I saw him get up, start pumping that fist, I'm like,
yeah,
he will have my love.
Yep.
That's right.
And of course, he might do things I don't like or whatever, but there's something on a deeper level where I can't unsee what I saw in him do. So, what a weekend. But
that's right.
Y'all still got the Summer of Smart going on there at Cohen's?
We do. We have lots of smart appliances. In fact, Joey, you would be wise to come down and get some.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, sir. I mean, you know, how cool would it be to have a washing machine that you could actually pull up on your phone to tell it to start washing clothes before you got home? So all you had to do was put them in the dryer.
That's pretty good.
I kind of do need something like that, or just notifications like, it's done, you dope.
Well, yeah. I don't know if they will call you a dope, but they will let you know.
Well, and with the smart systems, you could start with the laundry room, and you can add to as you go. Like it's a one central system that you can build on.
Well, that's right. I mean, you can have your washer and dryer that can be smart. They make refrigerators that can be smart. When you get on my side of the store, pretty much everything can be smart. I mean, we have audio video receivers, we have the Control 4, we have door locks, we have thermostats, we have cameras, and then with the Control 4 you can control so many components, whether it's your audio video system, whether it's lights, whether it's door locks, your sprinkler system, your pool system, your gate. I mean, it just if it's wired and if you can push a button to make it open or close or go up or down, Control 4 can pretty much control that.
Folks, you got to get by there to Cohen's. You can always shop from home at thinkcohens.com, but there's nothing like actually stopping by the Boulevard at 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to find Michael or one of the great team members there and say, hey, I heard Michael on the radio with those fellas, Joey and Eddie.
That's right. So come see us. We want to take care of you. Pretty low pressure to buy here. Nobody's trying to twist your arm. We want to help you make the right choice, the right decision for your house. And just come see us.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate it, Michael. Talk again soon.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
We have Dick Brubaker, I think, joining us here in just a moment in the studio. Y'all stay tuned as also the delegates are putting in their names for Trump.
You see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The FBI is still trying to determine a motive behind the attempt to assassinate former President Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania rally. In the meantime, former Fire Chief Corey Comparator, who was killed, is being remembered as a man of conviction. 2 other people were wounded. The 20-year-old man, who authorities say carried out the attack, is believed to have acted alone. The RNC getting underway in Milwaukee. The 4-day event will culminate with Donald Trump being named the Republican candidate for president. Jury deliberations have resumed in the bribery trial of Senator Bob Menendez in New York City. Electricity likely to be out for another week for hundreds of thousands of people in the Houston area after Hurricane Beryl tore through the area. The Dow had 233 points. The Nasdaq is adding 74. This is SRN News.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-727-9105. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105. 800-727-9105.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. But again, a story of dangerous heat indices today and probably tomorrow, too. I think we'll be close to the 105 danger range, if not exceeding it today and tomorrow. The actual high temperature in the upper 90s. But fingers crossed that some of these cooling random storms will be affecting your town this afternoon and this evening. They will be in greater number on the radar today. And in fact, by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be in much greater number, and that may ease the temperature a bit. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
John Bobo with Capital Tractor. Have you heard the news? Capital Tractor will soon be moving to a brand new location in Montgomery. With lots of Kubota inventory, we're going to sell it instead of move it. Our big moving sale is a great time to get a great deal on a Kubota at Capital Tractor in Montgomery.
1819 News.
Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth started out this week by writing an article for 1819 News about the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Ainsworth said that he's both angry and sad for our country and the direction it is heading because our society has completely lost sight of the Christian values that made it great and instead have decided to accept and endorse and encourage sin. Ainsworth said that those with radical left ideology have declared a jihadist-style attack on Christian values and pointed out how just a week ago Joe Biden told his supporters that it's time to put Trump in a bullseye after already trying to bankrupt him and put him in jail. Lieutenant Governor called the radical left's agenda evil incarnate and called for prayer for Trump and for our nation to rediscover its moral compass of "In God We Trust." I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Schaefer with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
The Birmingham Police Chief Scott Thurman says a massive investigation is underway after 7 people were killed in that occurred on 2 separate occasions this past weekend. 10 others were injured in the 2 shootings. Thurman says that law enforcement is sick and tired of this gun violence and that his department will begin a strategy that no longer tolerates the violence. Thurman also confirmed that federal agencies have been brought in to help hunt down those involved in the 2 crimes. So far, no one has been taken into custody. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
It's that time of the year. Come to think of it, it's that time of the year all the time at Larry Puckett Chevrolet. They're always offering a way to save you money on Chevrolets. The red tag sale continues. Save on the 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT, the 2024 Chevy Blazer EV LT, and the 2024 Chevy Equinox EV 2-liter. Costco members get $1,000 toward the purchase of the 2023-24 Silverado 1500, a grand towards a 2024 Blazer EV LT. If you have a student headed off to college and they need a good, reliable vehicle, shop Larry Puckett today. Their new and pre-owned inventory is as big as anyone's in the area. Bring your extra used car in and let them make you a cash offer. Larry Puckett always lets their customers do the talking about the great prices, selection, and service. Stop by the dealership on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville as the red tag sale continues. Call them at 334-285-9300 or shop them online at larrypuckett.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Wow, folks, we have breaking news. We just saw Coach Tuberville throw Alabama's delegates Donald Trump's way, and now it is official. Trump has named Senator J.D. Vance to be his vice president.
J.D. Vance.
Awesome.
Wow.
I think it's a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, joining us in the studio here for the final hour, we have Dick Brubaker. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great. Life has been very busy, but good.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. And man, well, okay, let's start there with the breaking news.
Okay.
Like, J.D. Vance, good pick?
I think so. He will go, let's put it this way, he's much more in line with Trump's style than Mike Pence was. And I think when they chose Pence last time, they were trying to get the mature, stable, solid, guy to balance it out.
Right.
And I think now, I think we're going to go super Trump. We're not going to try to balance the ticket. We're doubling down on MAGA. And I'm going to tell you, it's hard to think, guys like Rubio and some of the other ones would be perfectly fine. I think voters would respond well with them. But having someone new, and I think J.D. Vance is a great choice. I think he'll help.
I started suspecting, too, the speech he gave at the National Conservatism Conference last week sounded presidential.
Sounded very presidential, and he's got a reputation as being a very, very good campaigner. And as good a campaigner as President Trump is, having a vice president who can really get out there and carry the water is important. And he's also a guy that you don't have to worry about saying something you're going to have to try to reel back in later.
Right.
He's experienced. I think it's a great choice.
I think it's a good choice.
And
he's only 39 years old.
Well, I didn't know that.
That's what Google is calling it. I thought he was 40, but 39. I'm glad there's some youth in there.
That's awesome. And you pointed out off air, Dick, he's got a beard.
He's got a beard. I was just wondering when the last time there was a ticket with a person with a beard on it.
Right.
That I can't even think of a ticket since the 60s where, man, beards are just out of style for politicians. Maybe this will bring them back.
Yeah, no, and I think, for instance, the beard plays with Ted Cruz. Like, the guy doesn't look quite as,
it strengthens that weak chin.
You're right.
It really does.
And this is why I'm working on my beard right here. So, wow.
Well, for some people, it covers up the second and third chins as well.
Oh, yeah. I thought. Hey, eat more of the Kit Kat.
No, I don't think... Mr. Vice President, man, we're not talking about you.
No,
we're talking about somebody else.
No, Trump, I think, said last week, J.D. Vance, what a good-looking son of a...
Yep.
So he was impressed. Well, that's great breaking news. I think that is a fantastic pick.
I do. One thing about Trump, during the congressional campaign, I went down to Mar-a-Lago, and you wonder, you see this guy off camera and with his usual posse, is he going to be the same as he is on camera? 100%. I mean, he's exactly the same off camera as on. And I think what we saw yesterday with the assassination, I mean, the only guy who responded as well to an assassination attempt was Teddy Roosevelt, who gave a speech with a bullet in his shoulder. So, I'm telling you, it's just campaign gold. I mean, they dropped the classified documents case. He gets has the best media week he'll ever have starting yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and this is, to the assassination attempt, it really is the stuff of legend. Like, unless you had the video, I don't think anybody would believe it the way it went down.
And some of the, just from a campaign point of view, that media shot, he's got the flag behind him. The perfect gust of wind has the flag completely out. Got blood on his face, raising his fist, all the Secret Service. I mean, it looks like they're kind of crouching, and he's just standing up, shoot at me again.
Right.
I'm here. And it was great.
It really was.
Well, and that's what I said at the beginning of the show, a deep fear wondering what, because, all I saw was he shot, and I didn't know the aftermath before the fist pumping happened. As soon as he started pumping that fist, that fear turned to pride.
But it is, I hope people realize from yesterday, I mean, we're laughing about it because, we're relieved.
Yes.
But whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, the destabilization, the political destabilization, I mean, had Trump had his weight on the other foot,
Oh, yeah.
we'd be talking about his funeral
Totally different
plans
things,
right
that's
now,
right.
not watching him pick a vice president. And there would be anger and violence, and because people, frankly, they don't believe the media anymore. They don't trust the FBI. The Biden administration has done a great job of just collapsing people's faith in American institutions, and political hyperbole is completely out of hand.
Yes.
And, words mean things, and words carry meaning. They result in action. This guy who shot at the president, Joe Biden has been talking about that Trump's, what is the word he used, an existential threat to democracy.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to commit murder. He was trying to save democracy
In his
by,
mind,
and that's sort of irresponsible political talk. And, the Republicans aren't blameless.
Right.
We had a lot of very loose talk that led up to January the 6th and people going overboard. And if you intentionally incite people by saying things aren't true, or at least aren't completely true, the result is violence. And had this, I hear he tried to get on his high school rifle team and didn't quite make it. Well, had he been a better shot, we'd be having a whole different conversation today. And I'm telling you, I think a lot of people would be loading their guns. I mean, it is, we came within inches of a major destabilizing
I
event.
agree.
And, people have got, what this country needs is truth. Truth. And whether it's, people ask me all the time about my campaign, you going to vote for her? Yeah, my opponent lied about me through the whole campaign. But that said, I'm going to vote for her.
Yeah.
And for all those who come up to me and say, well, I'm not going to vote for her because of what she said. Well, if I can vote for Caroline Dobson, you certainly can. Because the Republicans have got to take both houses.
Yeah.
But the problem is we've got a political culture where that kind of campaigning, or once you're in office, just completely out of control hyperbole has become accepted.
Yep.
And the result is January the 6th, and what we saw yesterday, even worse.
Yeah.
And all because the Democrats, Trump is a threat to democracy. Well, I mean, come on, guys. He's not a threat to democracy, as events have proved.
Well, and my sense of Trump, because, again, I repeat myself, but I didn't vote for him in 2016. I was a little wary of him. I didn't vote in 2016, at least not for president. Because I was just like, no way I'm voting for Hillary, and I don't know what this Trump guy's all about. But I very quickly, because I was just a little producer back then, I'm seeing they're not even giving this guy a chance.
No.
And he struck me as a guy who wanted to make a bunch of deals. He didn't seem a classic conservative.
Well, he's not. I don't know that he is a classic conservative, but I will say this, and I've had some policy disagreements with President Trump. I didn't like the way he handled the vaccine and a few other things, but what I like, I've given him money every time he ran, and I've voted for him every time he's run. And the reason is he does know what country he's president of.
Right.
And he will put America first and try. And
Yes, sir.
people can disagree about what's in our national interest, but at least Trump is trying to advance our national interest, not anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, after what we've seen the last 4 years, we need a president who knows what group of people he's going to bat for.
Right.
Yes.
And you listen to Biden talk about the border. These people aren't Americans, and he's perfectly willing to sacrifice hundreds of American communities to be overrun with crime and people who aren't here legally. And, it's time for all of that just to stop.
Right.
Right. And then also with President Biden, there have been a few moments, for instance, say a war between Russia and Ukraine is a very serious thing.
It doesn't get any more serious.
And he calls Zelensky President Putin at the NATO conference.
Yep.
Right.
And then I think Biden, when he's given this speech from the Oval Office, is trying to take the temperature down. I think he realizes that first night, on Saturday night, when he was calling him Donald, just casually, I'm like, okay, he's trying to bring the temperature down.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says something like this in the middle of a speech that's probably incredibly important speech for a president to make. In America, hold on, let me see. We're having technical difficulties. Go ahead, Mr. President.
We resolve our difference at the battle box. That's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
Oh, my Lord.
Right.
I had not seen that clip.
Right.
If you're can you imagine, you're one of our NATO allies and you're watching this and you see the President of the United States not only essentially collapse on the debate stage, but every time he's tried to look presidential since then, he can't put two sentences together.
Right.
And when he does put them together, not only do they not make any sense, they just sound weak. And this country, we need serious leadership, and we need people in office who people have confidence. They're not just lying to get what they want. And it's time for the people, John Wall in Alabama.
Yeah.
It is time for the people who head these state parties to sit candidates down and start reeling them in and say, you are responsible for what you say. And if you incite people, the party, there are a million ways the state party can penalize one of their own candidates, if that's what it takes. But we have got to get politics where we're not trying to incite hatred of everybody that disagrees with us.
It becomes third world nation at that point.
Well, and it's become such
better than that.
I think it's really smart people, very clever people, doing pretty manipulative, pretending to be dumb things. So instead of actually making smart arguments and having, say, Lincoln Douglas debates, we instead are going for what emotionally manipulates and blackmails the average voter the most.
And unfortunately, as the political rhetoric, when I ran, I made a decision. I'm not going to go negative. It's just already toxic enough, and I'm just not going to add to it. And for anybody who's thinking about running for office, I don't recommend that course. It's not a path to victory. But I will say this. Most people I talk to, let's put it, as the rhetoric has gotten more toxic, the voting trends, not just in Alabama, but in every state, have gone down. I mean, we are having fewer and fewer Americans participate in elections every 4 years. The first year I voted for Ronald Reagan. And in that election, the highest performing voter demographic was 18 to 24-year-olds. They voted higher rates than any other group. In the last election, in 2020, they were the lowest performing voter demographic. Now, if that doesn't make you a little bit worried about people talk about threats to democracy, non-participation is a threat. And I think one reason they listen to what candidates are saying and they just think, this just all smells bad. A plague on both your houses. I'm going to go fishing instead of go vote.
Yeah.
And we got to bring political discussion back to politics and back to policy and back to what's good for America. And we can disagree, but we can't keep on like we're doing now, or in 8 years, you'll have 20% of the voting public deciding who the president is because everybody else will have stayed home.
Yep.
Yeah, and the shifts right now in our nation, the technological shifts, especially in information, but also the generational shifts. It seems like, when I go back and watch Reagan and Carter debating, or even what Reagan and Mondale, it just seems like a different people in a different nation. Like, I'll put it this way, people who either directly or they're the children of folks who actually went through that massive crucible called World War II. And so there was this commonality there that, it could be a lot worse and everybody understood it in their bones. And I think, maybe we hoped 9/11, we could rise out of that and it would unite us, but it didn't seem that 9/12 feeling has lasted. And something's getting lost between the generations.
Well, I think that people that went through World War II saw the results of when real fascism or communism takes over, and they saw how terrible it was, that they felt like they had a stake in making sure that didn't happen here. And now we see, members of the United States Congress openly say, well, maybe terrorism's not so bad. Maybe the people in Gaza are justified for killing all those children. Or maybe, communism isn't such a bad idea. And it's just hard to listen to, especially when you look at what, especially service members in this country have done to try to keep us a free people. But if people don't participate in elections, I mean, if 9 or 10%, well, after one question I was asked after the runoff said, if only 9 or 10% of the people voted, of the candidates in both parties, really legitimate.
That's a good
well,
thought.
They're legally legitimate.
Right. But are they what the people
but
want?
Are they representative of the voters? Well, I hope they are, because those are the candidates we have. And we're going to have to choose between them. But we have got to restore people's confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And the way to do that is to go back to telling the truth in campaigns and telling the truth once you're in office. And for Joe Biden to stay on this mantra the Democrats have of Trump being a threat to democracy, that's why what happened yesterday happened.
Right.
Because, if someone's a threat to democracy, well, I'm doing everybody a favor.
Right.
Yeah, I heard folks switching it around in a way that made a lot of sense to me. That so you're praying for and wishing health upon literally Hitler?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It doesn't add up, and I think there are some folks who maybe take that nonsense to heart and really believe it, but I think most of them are behaving cynically, obviously, and the hyperbole is very real.
They're behaving, yeah. Cynically is a very nice word, but there's a price we pay for that as a culture, and the lack of interest in not only national politics but state and local is for people who are in political life is actually kind of frightening. But at the same time, if you listen to political speech, why would you want to be part of that?
Right. Yeah, and there's something about getting politics back more local, and also that's been a discussion lately. Been talking to a lot of local interest in officials and also folks who are just part of the community, and going to continue that conversation going forward. But I got to hit this break, though, first, because it's such a breaking news day. Okay, the classified documents case is dismissed by Judge Cannon. J.D. Vance is now Donald John Trump's vice presidential pick, and the convention is underway. I'm pretty sure, I know Senator Britt will be speaking. I don't know when.
Okay.
I wonder if Tuberville is as well. Also, I want to underline a point. You just said, hey, it was a rough and tumble campaign. You were being lied about.
Yeah.
But you're voting for Caroline Dobson.
Oh, look at my choices.
There you go.
I mean, that's it. I mean, am I so angry? I'm willing to help the Democrats take the U.S. House. I'm mad, but I'm not that mad.
There you go. So, a lot to discuss. 272-9228 if you want to hop in on the program. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
At Thompson Tractor, we love being here, in the neighborhood, working alongside you, helping you, serving your needs, growing right along with you. No matter the size of your project, we have a complete inventory of small to mid-sized machines to help you tackle any job. Fact is, Thompson Tractor is your go-to source for the best equipment in the business. Legendary Cat machines like compact track loaders, dozers, excavators, and more. And when you buy Cat yellow wire, you're backed by Thompson's trusted service and support from day one. We're all about boosting your productivity and your bottom line. Always have been, always will be. Like right now, with financing starting at 0% on all compact equipment. Whether you're just starting out or have been at it for a while, if growing is where you're going, let's get going together. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details and locations. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by H&H Carpets, where you will find a complete line of Mohawk carpet with exceptionally clean, smart strand fiber. It's always available and ready to be installed. H&H Carpets, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas weather. Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. But again, a story of dangerous heat indices today and probably tomorrow, too. I think we'll be close to the 105 danger range, if not exceeding it today and tomorrow. The actual high temperature in the upper 90s. But fingers crossed that some of these cooling random storms will be affecting your town this afternoon and this evening. They will be in greater number on the radar today. And in fact, by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, they will be in much greater number, and that may ease the temperature a bit. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Do you have big plans this summer? Dive into summer with an ASE Credit Union vacation loan. Whether you've got a trip coming up, projects at home, or just need a little extra cash, we've got you covered. So don't put your plans on hold. Visit yourasecu.com or stop by and see us today.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. We have Dick Brubaker here in the studio with us, and a few folks calling in. Let's go to, I hadn't seen this name in forever, Delta Hotel. Come in, Delta Hotel.
Hello there, Joey. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Doing very well. I've not called in quite some time, but I'm a regular listener. You better believe it. You've come a long way there, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
A long way. I just want to say, or at least the question I would have and would ask that you would pose on my behalf. How about this? The next time you have like a Secret Service type or a protection service type of person in on your show, the thing that concerned me about the president as they were egressing him from the stage, his head was completely uncovered the entire time. So I guess my question would be, is there, and if there is, why wasn't there some sort of ballistic shield of some sort? I kind of have this image of an umbrella that just kind of comes over his head and protects him as you're egressing him to the beast. That concerned me all the way up to the time they got him into the beast. And, of course, I've got all kinds of issues and questions. But aside from all the obvious ones that have already been discussed, that's one that I would like to have an answer to. Is there such a thing? And if so, why wasn't it deployed in this case?
Well, and you got to wonder if the principal is 6'2". Okay, you have to be 6'3" and above.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, it's no brainer.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
And I seriously, there, God bless her. There was a woman that looked like she was 5'6", 5'7",
Yeah.
and like there was nothing. And also, you need the strength. Say it was worse to move somebody.
Right.
And Trump's
Right.
not a small
Also,
individual either.
You have Trump doing
Exactly.
everything he could do to make sure nobody hit his face. I mean,
Right.
he was standing tall and
Yeah.
pumping his fist, and you could hear him. When they played the video, can we move? They were trying to move him, and
Let me get my shoes.
he was going to make sure that everybody knew he was all right, and he was still fighting.
Yeah, and I understand that. And frankly, as everyone has been, just encouraged by that fist pump, and because you're right, we're all holding our breath. It was good to see. However, I would have liked to have his head protected a little bit better than it was.
Right.
If there had been two shooters instead of one, that could have been a very
huge.
costly
Yep.
fist bump.
Yeah, that's all I have, brother. I just wanted to, again, if you could pose that question for me for any other security type person you have on your show, I would appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate it, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Have a great one now.
Let's go to Papa John. Hey, Papa John.
Hey guys, Dick, so
Yeah.
good to hear your sane political voice in the airways. What I've got to ask is so insignificant that it has so little value as a question, but I have been looking and cannot get an answer.
All right.
Seeing the wound that occurred in San on an AR-15 platform that the shooter was using. The question in my mind is, what caliber was it? Because I know an M16, you do that with an M16, take not only his ear, it's going to take half his scalp and everything else.
Well, it was I'm sure it was a 5.56. I can't imagine what else it would have been.
Do you know that for a fact?
Now, I don't know that for a fact, but I guess but even if it hit anywhere except his ear, even whether it was a 5.56 or a 7.62, that would have been the end of the Trump saga. That's for sure. I mean, that was so close.
Of course, the M16 round, when it tumbled and it was taking his ear and half his scalp, or what? It comes in anything from a 22 long rifle to a 17 caliber to a 9mm to just anything in the world. And I have not heard anybody clarify what it was. From my observation, looking at the size, it looked like a 22.
That could have been.
Yeah, I kind of went down. I went down the same rabbit hole, and there is nothing that really tells you exactly what caliber it is. I thought they would have let it out by now because we did have a deceased person there and two other.
That New York, could you tell by the New York Times photo where it's the trail of the bullet after it's buzzed by its head? Because does that give any?
Not
really.
really.
I didn't think so.
But just like he was pointing out, the small wound that I saw, it reminded me of a 22. But
well,
in the moment it could be wrong, and the popping.
It took the Democrats about an hour to make this not about an assassination attempt, but to start talking about gun control.
Oh, I was wondering how long it took.
They're already using this as just another way to take guns away from law-abiding people.
Yeah, well, the one thing that I said was even a 22 caliber at 150 yards, actually is not great, but if he was trying to hit a mid-head shot, that inaccuracy is about what I would expect of a 22 long rifle. A 22 long rifle, let's face it, the Mossad used it. It's not something that's a plaything, and it's very, very deadly.
Right.
And would have been in that case had it actually landed on the target that I guess it was going for. One thing that you pointed out, Dick, and I think this people need to kind of pay attention. We've almost had divine intervention because had he not turned his head exactly when he did, it would have taken the back of his skull.
Oh, absolutely.
And if it hit the back of the skull, it would have rattled around, and there's no way in the world he could live through it.
Right.
But anyway, look, guys, y'all keep after it. I appreciate your show.
Appreciate it. And the political messaging that's coming out of this, it was just the realest thing I've seen. I was saying off air here that so much of our politics is like pre-scripted speeches and poll-tested messaging, and it's very rare you get the actual moments of like people are just reacting how they react. And I hate that this happened, but in a way this is, I don't often use the term like divine providence, because it should be assumed. But then when you see a moment like that, you're like,
but how many people, honestly, and us in this room, are surprised? I mean, we all
with the climate. That's
look
out
at
there,
everything they've done to Donald except try to kill him.
Well, and not only that, I think because the Secret Service, now obviously yesterday was not their day, but generally speaking, if you Google assassination attempts on and put in any president, like Bill Clinton, in 1994 alone, there were 3 near misses where he could have been killed just in that one year.
Forgot all about that.
And it's not just him. I mean, there were constant credible threats against Barack Obama, and both of the Bushes.
Especially Bush
and
Senior,
generally speaking, the Secret Service and the FBI have been able to stay ahead of it. Now, this time, there were a lot of questions that need to be answered about.
Let me ask you this
one.
What policies do you think have changed in the past 4 years when it comes to Secret Service?
Well, I would imagine that what I wonder is if the qualifications to be a Secret Service agent have been awoken. If they're now woke, and that's how we're picking Secret Service agents. I hope it's not.
I hope it's not either.
But the problem wasn't the agents on the stage. The problem was whoever did the planning.
Right.
Yep.
And there was you can't believe everything you read on Twitter, but there's a constant story out there that the team leader who was on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania, asked for more people. We just don't have enough people to cover this event, and that the Secret Service says, no, you've got everybody we're going to send you.
And then Christopher Rufo's just put out there today that the Secret Service elevated quote-unquote diversity to one of its top 3 visions priorities in the 2023 to 2027 strategic plan. I think it was also one of the top priorities is advancing the brand.
Yeah.
And it's like everything, this bureaucratic managerial mind that's just... You want to think of the Secret Service like the elite guard.
Exactly.
Yes.
But look at all the troubles they've had in the past 2-3 years.
Well, they're going to have to.
There's some
this is like, as far as brand management, it's hard to imagine a worse brand day for the Secret Service because even people that are usually trying to defend, because let's face it, Secret Service agents put their literally shield the president with their bodies, and you don't want to say anything bad, but that vacant rooftop, their planning has proven to be incompetent, at least on that day. I mean, it was not, and somebody, the question is, will, what's her name, against,
the head of
the Secret Service,
one that used to be Frito-Lay's girl.
Yeah, somebody needs to be held accountable.
Yeah.
Whoever made that decision needs to be looking for a new job.
But do you look for that? Do you look for that person to stand up today and go, that's on me, and I resign?
Well, that's what needs to happen.
Right, that's what needs to happen, but I don't see that happening in this
we need
political
more
climate.
of that in this
I mean...
world. But then out of this, I don't know if y'all have seen this. I guess it's an ad. I don't think it's officially from the Trump campaign, but somebody on Twitter put this out here, and I believe it features the voice of Sylvester Stallone.
Oh. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
And the screen ends with "Make America Great Again" with Trump's fists in the air.
Pretty powerful commercial right there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Whoever made it, they need to get paid.
They sure do. That's a winner right there.
Let's go to a call here. Line 1's been patient. You're on there. Who's this?
Well, now that he's named J.D. Vance as vice president, if they kill Trump, do we get to vote for Vance?
I'm not saying
how that
anything.
works. Don't get me started on the Republican Party, sir.
Well, he just named him at the convention.
Oh, I know. Yeah, we were talking about
No,
it.
he is not in line for the presidency yet. They have to win the election first.
So he doesn't get, if they kill him before November, he don't get to take
Not
his place.
automatic.
Not automatic, no.
Well, that just ruined my day. But I tell you what, Trump went down the stairs better after being shot than Biden does on a good day.
It's true.
Hard to argue with that.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, you done?
I'm done.
All right.
Appreciate it.
I was just waiting
You
for
waiting
more
for another one?
lines. I mean, not making fun of people like this. It's just not
And
acceptable.
in America,
Oh, what?
we resolve our difference at the battle box.
Mm.
You know, that's how we do it, at the battle box, not with bullets.
Yeah.
I was almost thinking, well, maybe Montgomery needs one of those battle box things. And
You know, it's not easy to to be in public office, but I tell you, Biden makes it look harder than it should be. I mean, did you watch that press conference he gave?
oh yeah, yes.
And somebody thought that would help.
That's what I don't get. So they came out and did it again.
I mean, who is his? You know, you're wondering. You know, when they agreed to the debate, I was talking to my wife Ruth, and I said, I can't believe he's agreed to debate him. You know, because Trump will kill him. And then when Trump got convicted, I said, well, this is Biden's out. He can say, I'm not debating this guy. I'm
Right.
president of the United States. He's a convicted felon. I don't have to talk to him. He's not even technically eligible to be president. And just gone on. But somebody on Biden's staff actually thought that this was such a good idea that they were going to debate him anyway. And after he proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that he is not mentally capable of doing anything, he can't even read off a teleprompter,
Right.
apparently, with the battle box. They doubled down on it. We're going to do a press conference and another debate. I mean, this is just mean.
It is.
Yeah.
And we
I
talked
mean,
about it. Elder abuse.
And one thing about it, though, Joe Biden may not know much, but he knows he's president. And he knows that they're not going to be able to get rid of him unless he voluntarily
Right.
steps down. And he is not doing that.
You don't see that happening?
No, I'm telling you, the Democrats are in a horrible position. Biden's got well over 3,000 delegates. It only takes 1,800 to get the nomination.
Okay.
So he's their nominee. He has done everything legally required to get the Democrat nomination. The only way they get Biden off the ticket is just to take it from him. Have a Gang of Five meeting and just tell all those Biden delegates, sorry.
All right, let's say they do that, which I kind of
They're
think they
dead.
will.
They're dead either
Who do
way.
they put in their place? Who do they put in his place? It
Gavin
certainly won't be the
Newsom,
VP.
I mean, just somebody.
So they're going to skip over their VP?
Yeah.
Wow.
But here's the thing,
Tough pill.
This is why they don't have any good moves here.
Right.
I mean, if they get rid of Biden, there are enough Biden loyalists to kill their ticket. And if they keep him, well,
No, they're done for.
you've got someone that even our European allies are saying we can't have the president of the United States be someone who's not all there.
Yep.
And so the only way out for the Democrats is for Joe Biden to go on national television and step down. And I don't see any reason to believe he's going to do that.
I agree with you.
No, we shall see. We got to hit a break here. But first, this part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And there at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. You know, they've actually worked on many of your properties, right?
They're some of the best roofers in town. Doesn't matter if it's a metal roof or an asphalt roof.
Yeah.
They'll come out and they'll give you a free examination, Joey.
Free?
Absolutely free. They will look at your roof top to bottom, man. And they've done that for mine. I thought my roof was perfect, and they said yours is pretty good, but here's some improvements you might make.
Yeah.
And of course, I took advantage of it, and it was great. They replaced all those little screws I have in my metal roof, so I won't have leaks again. I probably won't need to get checked out again for probably a year or two. But it was great knowing that when they left, I had no flat tires, no mess was left behind. The guys were on time every day. They just did an absolute wonderful job.
So wait, free inspections, free estimates.
Yep.
They're insurance specialists.
They are insurance
They
specialists.
can work
too.
with the insurance company
Yes,
for
they
you.
can.
And they show up on time and do a great job.
Very professional.
Well, you got to get River Region Contracting to stop by just to give you peace of mind that your roof's all right. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell Todd Clark and the team there that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
It's Johnny from Sinclair's from Bond Road. We've been in business almost 30 years.
Sinclair's East. Vaughn at Taylor.
I think if you hadn't tried us, you should give us a try. We've got a great menu, offered anything from chicken fingers, wings, salads, fajitas. At lunchtime, we do great country lunch with different vegetables and different meats every day.
Sinclair's, where you get great sandwiches and our daily meat at 3 special at lunch, to great pasta, chicken, steaks, and seafood for dinner.
Our most popular items are, we got a soup called she crab soup, which is extremely popular. We've got a bunch of pasta dishes, which people love. Mediterranean chicken is my favorite.
Sinclair's.
We do live music, light stuff on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and then on Fridays and Saturdays, maybe 3-piece bands or 4-piece bands.
Come see why Sinclair's has seen lesser restaurants come and go over the years. Johnny Sullivan Sinclair's, at the corner of Vaughn and Taylor. Find them on Facebook at Sinclair's East. Google search Sinclair's Restaurant. Sinclair's.
Hey, this is Mike from Owens Optical in Eastbrook. We've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for over 10 years now, and doing so has dramatically increased our business. The sales and production staff are some of the best I've ever worked with. Thanks, Blue Water, for all you do for us.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Celebrate 20 years of biscuits with Saturday Max Fireworks at Riverwalk Stadium. Post-game fireworks will light up the night sky out past left field every home Saturday. Plus, we have special fireworks shows on opening night and the 4th of July. Check out the best fireworks show in Alabama on Saturday nights at Riverwalk Stadium. For tickets and information, visit biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL. Butter up!
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Vast conspiracy. People are so stupid they believe things.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. With Eddie Bader and Dick Brubaker here in the studio, and we're getting a lot more calls rolling in. Let's go to Brenda. Hey, Brenda.
Hey, how are y'all doing this afternoon?
Wonderful.
Pretty good, pretty good. Well, I'm just got to make a couple comments about those 3 women trying to protect the president. They, I mean, the Secret Service, there's no place in the Secret Service presidential detail for equal opportunity. You know, we can't say we got to get so many women and get this and get that and get the, no. You got to get the best. And the 3 of them look like Charlie's Angels trying to, I mean, one of them spun around. You go back and watch it. One of them spun around, had her ponytail on, spun around a couple times. Another one, she was putting her sunglasses on and pulling her shirt down. And then the other one, she didn't know where to put her gun. So I'm just telling you, that was a comedy of errors. That was a joke. I understand that after Trump is named officially this week at the RNC, that he will get a little bit more detail. But I trust Dan Bongino to tell the truth, and he said he knows 100% that the Secret Service, the head of it, I can't think of that lady's name, she has denied him several times, and I know there's been some trying to get legislation where, you know, they'll take his detail away from him. But I do know when 3 previous presidents came to Selma for the walk across the bridge, they were welding manholes shut 2 miles away.
Yep.
So we've got to do better.
Amen.
Well, I appreciate the call, Brenda. Great points.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Brenda.
Let's go to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm doing great today. Hallelujah, that Democrats can't shoot straight. And what a mess.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling somebody, I said, look, if you don't believe God has his hands on Trump, I don't know how to convince you otherwise.
Right.
All right.
At 135 yards, you do not miss. I don't care who you are. I was telling the guys here, the last deer I killed last deer season was 700 yards with 5 minutes of light left.
Wow.
You don't miss a 135-yard shot. But now my conspiracy theory is going nuts. I'm going to have to go home and get some tin foil and put on my head.
Send me a picture, would you?
I don't blame you, man.
If you look on YouTube and some of the ones that are the craziest, I mean, they've all got, the sources are like the Times of India. And, I mean, foreigners love American conspiracy theories.
I mean, it really is. I mean, everything about that screams a conspiracy theory.
Yep.
I mean, how does he get 8 shots off?
Is that how many it was? They finally decided on 8?
I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
I've been so busy that I really haven't been able to check. Is this Dick?
Yeah.
How in the world have you been?
Man, I'm living. How are you?
You never come see us. I know you come by Prattville every now and then.
Well, occasionally I do. I rode my motorcycle up there last weekend.
You need to just swing in the store and say hello.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I don't think
I may need some carpet.
2 years. Well, if you do, call me.
I'll do
But
it.
hey, I tell you what I need. I need somebody in my back row.
Okay.
An employee. It pays $15 an hour, 30 to 40 hours a week. No benefits. Sorry, can't afford it.
Gotcha.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm getting a lot more than that doing nothing.
You know, come on, Dick. We'd have fun together.
It would be.
They pay you in smiles, Dick.
Well,
That's
yeah.
it. That's it.
I
But
work
at
for a
the end of the
company
day-
with a good reputation.
That's for sure.
Absolutely. But we are all very, very thankful that God did protect Trump yesterday.
Amen to that.
Or the day before yesterday. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. That could have, it could have been millimeters so much worse.
Oh, yeah. A matter
doubt.
of, yeah, exactly right.
So make sure you thank God tonight that I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. I would not want to see that happen to President Biden.
No.
I would not want to see that happen to our vice president or any one of our leaders.
And given the amount of distrust that's in the country right now, I think most people don't realize how destabilizing it could have been yesterday had he been killed. I mean, I'm not so sure we wouldn't be under martial law right now.
Yep.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And same with Joe Biden. If some
Just the destabilization of it. Yep.
would do the same thing to him or our vice president, I mean, it would just be the country's too divided for something like that to happen.
Amen.
So everybody stay in prayer. Thanks tonight. And if you know somebody looking for a job, tell them to call me, 285-8117.
There you go.
You know right where I am because you own the car lot beside me.
Well, I know exactly where you are.
It's good talking to you, Dick.
Take care.
See you, Ray.
All right, see you.
I always love, by the way, just this state we live in, this culture we live in. Like, we're doing a professional radio show with a paying sponsor, and he takes time out of his paid call to go, hey, I hadn't talked to you in a while, Dick. How are you doing? Like, just
I'm
what a
telling
wonderful
you, Travel
place.
Carpet, man. What a great business.
Great folks, too.
So we got about 2 minutes left. BB's been patient. Hey, BB.
Hey, greetings. Y'all kind of stole my thunder a little bit. I was going to say, if you couldn't see the hand of God on Trump,
right,
you need to look again.
Yeah.
But couple observations. My question now, when I seen where that shooter's at, where the heck were the drones at?
No,
Shouldn't
that's
they
a
have
good
had
question.
I thought about it
Yeah, shouldn't
myself.
they
I wondered because they didn't have any birds in the sky at all.
No,
That's crazy.
Yeah. And Joe Biden, on his speech he gave at press conference, rather, he kind of sealed it in for Kamala Harris where he meant to or not, because someone asked him a question about him, and he says, if I didn't think she couldn't have been president, I wouldn't have selected her for vice president. I'm like, he got him now.
Yeah. He's wrong about that, just like he's been wrong about everything else.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't agree with him. I said that he done painted him in the corner, and they say she can't be it, but he's done stood up and said, yes, you can.
Well, I appreciate it, BB.
Thank you, BB.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, pretty much out of time here. I would love to have you back when it's not such a crazy news day where we can talk more local issues than this dear city.
Man, there's a lot of them, too.
Yeah, there are.
Oh, absolutely. But great to see you. And I'd like
Great
to see
to
you're
be
doing
here.
well. I can tell you're doing well. Just the energy. And
Life has been, like I say, I've been having a lot of fun. And
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Well, and Eddie, good to see you wearing that Trump shirt.
That's
Proud.
right. Representing,
today's
baby.
the day for it.
Yep. Yeah, in fact, yesterday, with everything that was said and done, I had a bunch of Trump flags. We put them on the boat, and we went around the lake, and everybody was happy to see that out there, and it's great to see it.
Well, Greg Budell in Happy Hour. He's next. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRNU special report. I'm John Scott. Donald Trump has made a decision on his vice presidential pick. The former president has officially won the nomination as the Republican candidate at the RNC convention in Milwaukee. And just minutes before, it was announced he had selected Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio as his running mate. The 39-year-old